You cannot give Slardar Leshrac to Liquid. Even just Liquid to any team. I feel this combination of two heroes is very strong.
You just can't give them Leshrac. Like I said this the last time they played that combination. This is something Insania has loved since we were playing against each other in Han, like legitimately 7 or 8 years ago, because these two heroes fulfill the two things that both he and I consider most important to executing in a game of Dota.
Stun tower pressure.
Exactly.
Yay.
If you can kill towers and if you can stun and kill enemies, you can always win the game.
I feel like
also gives you
I got
Roche.
a test correct or something.
You did. I mean, I feel like I've been saying it for legit a decade.
Yeah,
I think I might have, but it's still true. And the tree is really cool. I was thinking maybe Oracle, but this is better in some ways because it's the counter to a potential BKB timing. It stops the tower push, or at least slows it.
Yeah.
And the plus armor, very good against Slardar for obvious reasons.
So Fart has been playing a little bit. I mean like a couple of times in the 5 role. And I guess the main idea here is you want to have that living armor for the extra armor. And there are not a lot of 5s who really help with physical damage in the laning phase. Like Lich is an example. Tree, again, not so popular, but can be an example. And maybe this is their way of punishing this side lane, where if they go aggressive, a Nature's Grasp, plus then the living armor, that turnaround potential of enabling the
It's a better laner, I would say, as well, in comparison to a Lich.
But that's the thing, right? Tundra, we said, they are more team fight, less laning winners.
Yeah.
They're existing. Like these picks right now, they're going to be able to farm their lanes, exist. They shouldn't be dying too much.
Yeah.
And that's the key game for Tundra.
It's a really good Oracle ban. That's removing the tree armor with an offensive purge is a really easy way to make the tree feel worthless.
No Leshrac that Yokal.
I know.
They go for the Oracle instead. This was the draft that we saw last time.
They still didn't get rid of it, man.
Yep, okay.
Like, Puck is a pretty favorable matchup against Lesh, but as we've seen, the difficulty, we even heard Snaking discussing it in the interview, the importance of controlling these water runes. Puck can never contest a Leshrac at level 4, level 5+. If you orb and get into Edict range, you're just straight up dead.
On the bright side, if Tundra is, they obviously know the same things that we do, probably even more, and they know that Leshrac is an option, so they must have something planned against it.
For sure.
They're giggling right now because I'm telling you, they're thinking about Lesh and that's still being available.
Tundra is first pick. That's the key thing here. Like, they're banning out heroes that simplify the draft, where Liquid has to show something, Tundra responds. So they take out heroes that they're maybe more, they just don't want to play against, and they can then react to what's to come.
Tundra doesn't have first pick. Liquid's thinking about their pick right now.
Tundra has first pick in the overall draft.
Oh,
so therefore they react in the second.
Oh yeah, my bad.
That's fine.
Misunderstood there. So surely they do not want to pick the Lesh now. They'll go for the Warlock.
Yeah.
Try to test it.
The Puck counter, in a lot of ways, if you catch a Fatal Bonds, you're miserable.
Well, sorry, we saw Kuroki play Warlock into Puck. That did not look like a counter. The refresher, Golem one miss.
They won the game. No, that's a low blow.
They did
They're
win
not
the game.
playing. God, T.
It's pretty funny.
You remember. It was
This
funny,
is something, one of the most well-respected North American analysts, ex-pro player Jenkins, just made a video about how Warlock is OP, has a 78% win rate in the upper division of NA, and it really just could be OP. When you consider you're also playing against Warlock Puck, the Veno is interesting. It's really annoying to play against as a Slardar, but Morphling does not give a damn about no offlane Veno.
Yeah, this is, I think, when they pick that Veno, it's obnoxious for any of the melee heroes, but the instant response of Liquid, of the Morphling, it's like, okay, maybe for Liquid they are flexing it between the mid and the carry for sure. They're going to have one more answer. This is speedy.
This is a draft,
This is
baby.
going. All right,
I love this. So Drow is one of the old school counters to Slardar. You have a ton of base armor, so the minus armor doesn't really affect you too much, and the Gust is really nice as a tool to kite. In addition, you are a soft counter to Morphling. The silence preventing the morph.
Friends, only daily social.
Like remember way back in the day when the Arteezy Envy meta was a thing. You'd see this Blink Drow playing aggressive on a hero like Morph. And yeah, the hero's been changed since then, but the core concept is the same of why you beat the hero. Yeah, you also hit an earlier timing, for sure. You can take towers as soon as you're level 6.
The key thing here is the Drow into Slardar lane will be free farm for Drow. Unless something, a big mistake of positioning comes into play. And then to Morph, you have a good matchup. I think the main thing here is when they go into high ground and they're actually pressuring tier 3s, the initiation of Slardar, the Golem threat, and the Snapfire will come into play. So Liquid has to be so critical on how they use their big spells. If they ever waste it in a bad position, that's when Tundra's lineup groups up and suddenly sweeps the map and really applies that pressure.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about Tundra. They don't really have many cooldowns to play around. Both Root and Coil still lower CD significantly than the Warlock Golem, and you can get buildings done so much faster. Like, Veno is just gonna... It's like they're playing Zerg, whereas Team Liquid, Terran. Or Protest, honestly.
There's a
only
lot of
three.
people that don't get that reference.
The Veno is gonna spread creep. The tree ant provides vision. Like, you're gonna be able to shove lanes from the trees without actually having to show in lane. So Liquid's map will inherently feel more forced. Puck clears a wave, 2 spells, Drow, volley from the trees. So Liquid don't have that wave clear advantage, but they do have the ability to execute kills faster if they get a blink on slot.
Knowing Team Liquid, though, they are very big on the wave shove. That's one of Blitz's Blitz's main preaching points when he was still on the panel. So you can only imagine that for the last pick for Liquid, they're gonna have something that covers that aspect.
I would love, honestly, I'd love a Storm. Outside of the wave clear idea, it does actually help a little bit with that. But just the fact that one extra layer of jump, the lack of control from Tundra will come into play. They rely so heavily on coil and overgrowth.
But it's a tough Storm game. You need to somehow scale while also getting a faster BKB than typical.
So you're
playing
looking
into
at
Root, you're playing into a Drow Silence, a Puck Coil.
So
it's
you're
a
looking
tough
for
game.
more like a simpler, like, frontliner hero who can tank the spells to unlock the fight rather than just catching and killing.
Yeah, you can go...
The tank and go, not catch and kill.
You could potentially get something like a Dragon Knight if you want to go that route, though I don't believe they will.
Yeah,
personally, if I'm Liquid, the draft needs tower damage, I would still go for Leshrac. It's just... you've got a healer. It gives you the ability now to get 1 kill mid, and then immediately you're taking a tier 1. And I think if you don't kill Tundra's towers, you can't really ever.
You know, Liquid
spamming
spamming voice lines right now. You can feel it. But no, yeah, for Tundra, they need one more pick. Is it Veno off lane? Is it just going to be some casual Veno 4? Oh, wait, is this the play? Is Tundra going to do like a Veno 4 where when Axe gets Vanguard and plays behind tower, Veno just hits up jungle? Maybe? Like double up farm efficiency?
Yeah, it's a good point. You could just rotate Veno to offensive jungle even and just control that area of the map.
I love the concepts from Tundra. It's very much like so execution heavy. They need to play their lane so well, hit that team timing and play for it and punish cooldowns, because this game does get hard much later on.
But it's the ability to shove waves and control the map
through the roof,
is sick. You have to take Tundra's towers if you're Liquid. If you allow them to keep their tier 1s up, they'll stay up forever because of the tree.
That's true, yeah.
And Veno wards being planted.
Oi! Is this going to be their
tiny?
This is going to be their mid lane tiny, right?
Yeah.
So then you actually have some jump. All right. But into a Venomancer, if you play well around that Veno with all the Plague Wards, stopping for the initiation. So yeah, it's going to be actually like a carry tiny Sumail playing mid.
Honestly, I think you make that a core Veno now. I mean, realistically, this is going to be a pretty even farm distribution between the 3 and the 4, but it's interesting that Tundra haven't decided yet which one 3-3 will play. They give it to Snake King. Okay.
Okay, so it is going to be that 4 soon-to-be jungle Veno.
on the morph.
Yep. So yeah, mid-morphling, most likely, with just a carry. They could potentially swap that up, but yeah, I love the fact that Tundra, they've given themselves a draft that can punish the fact that Liquid likes to utilize their own jungle. Yeah. Now, Venomancer, the Axe, they invade these stacks. They take away that mechanic that Liquid relies on.
I really like what Tundra has.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's a very, I don't know, it's a complicated draft, but their ability to kill waves so much more efficiently, and then the need for Liquid to get kills. That's their window to win the game, is they have to somehow get kills, but they shouldn't have information, and there's a global tree protecting anybody that would get jumped by a tiny.
All right, both of you then?
I mean,
for Tundra?
This is the type of game where their draft is so high skill. If they can execute it, it proves that they've improved tenfold since the start of this season. And I think Liquid, if they can survive the onslaught of waves coming at them, their draft will beautifully outscale, and the team fights will be amazing 35 minutes plus.
Late game morph does win for you, but if Tundra execute well, in theory, they're getting a Roche around 20 minutes, and they're pushing for a Rax by 30.
All right, that seems to be
fun draft. That's it.
Fun drafts and maybe a little bit of a timer as well. But we got all the ingredients for a great game, that is for sure. And definitely 2 people who will enjoy it as well are Moxie and Purge.
Man, I love Dota 2. I love the fact that we're still seeing these different strats that we don't normally see. The fact that we've got a Treant Protector in this game, not a hero that's very common. And of course, we've got a Venomancer who could transition to the jungle. What do you think about this, Purge?
Yeah, last time we saw Venomancer jungle, at least me, was a puppy playing it, and the net worth advantage that it gave them was pretty good. It actually accelerated at a good pace. It kind of looks like he's going the same build. He's starting to regen, so that means that 3-3 is going to have a tougher time, but like he said in that interview a couple weeks ago, he likes playing the harder than normal lanes because he knows that it's giving more things to his team, which if they can get a good timing on the levels here for snaking and Draw Ranger has a good lane, then they can absolutely do some good stuff and set some tempo that should put Team Liquid on the back foot.
And I think if one person can really, do well with this sort of transitioning Venomancer that goes into jungle or whatnot, it's definitely snaking, although hold that thought as 33 is already had a little bit of a skirmish over here with Liquid, but it's going to be absolutely fine. But yeah, we've seen Snaking play the Enigma, right? He goes straight into jungle, and he does a lot with this particular hero. Granted, this time around, not that giant ultimate in the sense of, like a black hole where he's going to be able to turn the tides of fights, but definitely he's going to be very farmed.
Yeah, he should be able to get good levels and good farm and then use that to control a lot of area with plague wards and things like that. And in fact, he can use them right now. This is kind of one of the nice things about Veno Jungle is that you can get plague wards level 1 and it doesn't feel like you're completely gimping your game. So this should be fine. It will only going to be 1 there for the Radiant side. Nice fire snap cookie from the Snapfire.
And they're already cutting down some of these wards here as they go through. Koifa making his way down to the bot lane. Are they? They're starting off with something that looks like a tri-lane. No, they're moving off here.
Nope. Yep, just normal lanes for Liquid here. Mickey, tiny safe lane should be doing pretty darn good here. Not that I expect Axe to contest very much, so I think the most interesting battle will be just how fast Snaking farms, and then how much Insania gets done, despite the fact that he's against a solo hero. So if he can keep 3-3 pretty zoned solo, it's going to keep 3-3 behind where he would like to be. And could change a lot here.
I mean, this is, as long as they start to do like some sort of stacks as well for the Axe, I think it'll be fine, even if he's being, really challenged here. But it is interesting that Snaking is starting off just straight off the bat in the jungle. Yeah, it should work pretty good. He's about to basically be able to pull 2 camps together. One's a large camp, one is a medium camp, I believe. So he should be able to accelerate pretty quick here. Plus, he's got the Bladestone to amplify their damage by 10%, which ends up helping a lot. And Plague Wards deal extra damage against creeps and neutrals, less against heroes. So, this is going to be pretty quick. If I hadn't seen Puppy do this once before, I'd be a lot more unsure about it. But it just takes a lot of resources to contest him, and it's just more important basically for Taiga to secure Quakeface farm. So they're basically just going to let him do this, and because it's just not that worth it. Let Drow have an easy lane and to zone Slardar, for example. They'll do more, just letting him get his farm. Now, how concerned are we, though, here with the fact that 33 is getting pushed so far back? And also, I want to highlight the fact that Liquid, usually we see Sumail being the one who's kind of, making these moves early, setting the tempo. This time around, it is, of course, Mickey who's going to be making those moves on the Tiny. How do we feel?
Fine, especially it should be fine because of who Tiny is as a hero. He's very good at roaming around and getting kills. Mickey plays a lot of mid, so he's got the same, he knows how to roam, he knows how to get kills and pressure like that, so it should be fine. The only thing that's going to be a negative is that Mickey is going to have less levels because he's in a safe lane instead of a solo lane, so he might not have as many levels of Avatos quite as early. But
okay. Well, 33 just going to do some creep wave mechanics here, trying to just pull off the side. Doesn't want to really stay in that lane too much. And then the bottom lane, nice. Skeeter's managing to handle very nicely.
And Insania did a great job getting one of the camps pulled. In fact, both. Right, you can't pull to these ones. But he got a range creep to stay in the area, which is good. He's doing a good job limiting what Axe is getting out of his lane. Only 2 last hits right now for 3-3. But
he's getting the levels at the very least, right? I feel like that's pretty important.
It is.
The traditional off lane, it was always just, getting those levels online.
He's basically not aiming to get like a fast Vanguard and abuse that. He's just trying to get levels, that way he can catch up and contribute to fights later on. Or when his team starts death pushing, he doesn't necessarily have to be there. He can go push a different lane instead.
That's true.
So Treant Protector did get some buffs recently. Leech Seed mana cost is really low right now. It's only 80, and it got returned to its AoE aspect. So the Leech Seed will heal everybody on your team if you're fighting near the Leech Seeded target. So that basically puts Treant back to an amazing lane stabilizer, which is part of the reason that he's pretty effective here.
Is he still going to be as effective as we get further into the late game? I know, definitely having the overgrowth, which pierces, magic immunity, super value, but as this game goes further on, is he still going to have that impact?
So it's a little different. He doesn't get invis at level 10 talent anymore. He has to buy a shard to do that. So he can't be as annoying with split pushing just by being level 10. He has to spend money or wait to 20 minutes. That part is worse. But mostly Tree and Protector, other than the nice overgrowth aspect, which is absolutely right. Great against BKBs or people who don't have Manta. Ooh, maybe a kill here.
He's got the cookie hop. They're going to need a little bit more slow than that. So Taiga's going to be absolutely fine.
But other than that, other than that ability to split push and delay your towers dying, just being able to armor your trees or your towers to keep them alive helps give you an advantage and should help keep his team ready to push. And that could be a really big thing if he uses Leech Seed and pushing in circumstances. Because if he gets a couple points in it, he could actually really help keep creep waves alive. Because the amount of heal that you pump out later is a huge amount. You can do like 300 AoE heal. Like if he goes like a Holy Locket or something, this could be busted. And he did buy a really fast Fluffy Hat.
Good old Fluffy Hat Spata, though, a little bit out of position here, is getting slowed down, though, with the bash from Koifa, and that is going to be the first blood. They might be able to turn this around over onto Koifa if they can keep that vision, but they don't really have it here. Skeeter walks right next to him. He's already able to teleport out.
So he tried to hit a timing there. He got the level 2 Leech Seed, and then they went for a fight, but that minus armor was just way too much.
Top lane 33 is just poking a little bit here with Insania, but it's allowing Mickey so much farm, because it is just too hard for this Axe to really be there in that lane. And another nice thing you noticed earlier, too, coming out from the side of Tundra, is they made sure to get themselves the water runes. So we talk about the mid lane being a little bit more forgiving recently. There's a lot of regen available, but not when the supports are making those rotations.
Yeah, that's a tough one for Morphling. He had an empty bottle, too, so he's going to have to go back and heal as a result of that. So pretty big rotation. I mean, Fado had basically perfect items for that engagement. He's got a Ring of Protection as well and the Fluffy Hat, but the minus armor from Lil Shredder plus the physical damage from Slardar just cut right through him a little bit too hard. So he was not expecting to die there, and that's going to hurt their lane a little bit. That could have catapulted them into a better advantage.
Now, is this a situation? I know we had another game where there was a lot of minus armor coming out from one of the particular teams. In fact, they had a TA on top of that. Do you just start stacking armor on people too to help, kind of tank them up so that they can survive these engagements, or?
Yep. Yeah, armor is the best counter to minus armor. So heroes that have high armor, like Morphling or like Drow Ranger, who has a lot of agility, they naturally counter minus armor lineups. Usually, like strength heroes are really countered by minus armor. Is one of the better versions, better heroes to have minus armor against, because they just don't have as much agility. But agility heroes typically just get a lot of armor for free.
But
is this
a situation too? Oh, there's a nice double damager in here available for 9. Is this also a situation where we're getting to see, the Solar Crest and like the Medallion, so you can stack on those sorts of things too, going full maximum armor build?
Yeah, and that's why Snapfire loves that build, because not only can you use it offensively for minus armor with the Medallion, or you can just put it on your cores later to push. But with that said, I'm not 1,000% sure if Tundra is going to want to go Solar Crest. It's still really good for pushing towers with Drow, but she's naturally long range, so she can siege towers pretty safely just with extra attack range. She may not need a Solar Crest to do it quite as quickly here.
Well, I wasn't sure for some of the other heroes though to be able to stack it up.
Yeah, but it's more about amplifying your carry. So because Drow doesn't need it as bad, maybe they won't bother that much. It's possible. I like this scan here by 3-3, protecting himself against an Avatos, and Mickey could have grabbed him with. He's going to go the long way back to his tower. Done a good job so far. He doesn't have that many last hits, but he's level 5. We'll fight.
The cookie hop forward. They silenced up Koifa, but it didn't matter because Taiga had the cookie, and now Koifa's just gonna go run down Skeeter right underneath the tower. They just need one more hit. He's gonna tank some of this damage, and they have the salve actually, but they'll go right in again. Another hit, and that's a dead Skeeter. Koifa still being chased here by Fata. He's gonna get a nice crush off. Is it gonna be enough though? Can he run away? That slow coming out plus those plague wards giving the vision. They need a little bit more damage to take down Koifa, and they don't quite have it. He's off in the corner. He eventually will fall.
Ooh, that's painful for Tundra. When you go Drow lineups, you kind of want to win your lane convincingly, but this is twice now that Koifa's gotten kills before dying. So they put the Leech Seed on him everything. Skeeter was getting a lot of heal from it, but Slardar is so good at running down opponents. So even though Drow has some advantages, if she gets heroes on top of her, she's always going to struggle. Top getting Avatos partially, but he's okay for now.
Yeah, they get the call off over on 33, and it's interesting to see Snaking now making these rotations up to the top lane. had a little bit of that start in the jungle, and now it feels like they kind of would like to place some pressure over on that tower.
He's doing like a mix of like trying to help, but still jungling occasionally too. He's got a fast earn here, so his mana regen is great and all, but his net worth, and this is good or bad, depending on how you're looking at it, it's the same as Drow Ranger. So Drow is definitely struggling here, but Drow's only about 400 behind Slar, so it's not the end of the world, but the net worth distribution is looking scary to me. I would like, for Tundra's favor, to see Drow like towards the top, because there just are some good matchups against her. Tiny's halfway to his Blink Dagger. He's not pressured. He's level 8. Insania's going to hit 6 a bit late because he spent a lot of time running around chasing Axe, but I think everything looks pretty darn good for Liquid right now. I think the only thing that's a little rough for them is they don't have the best ganking heroes. Outside of like Tiny Blink, or until Sarda gets his, it's a little bit hard for them to get little safe, efficient pickoffs. It's like they have to do these like big fights with you know, Mortimer's Kisses and Warlock, Fatal Bonds, Golem, that kind of stuff.
I'm a little surprised that they haven't done much scouting over here on the side of Tundra, considering that they do have like a Venomancer, right? So you can see, Insania is known for making all of these stacks. I'm surprised they haven't tried to go for an invasion and try to take control of those, considering they do have an Axe.
I think Axe has certainly wanted to, but it's not always super easy. Like, it feels like every time he crosses the river, every time I look at him, the Warlock's chasing him somewhere. So I'm sure he'd love to take the stacks, but I just don't think it's quite available to him right now. And it isn't going to be until Mickey gets forced out of his lane that they go clear these, I think. Because if Mickey stays here, it feels dangerous for anybody to take the lane efficiently, whether snaking or the Axe. So that's why, and now Sumail's going to start working on him too.
To teleport down to the bottom lane. It's like they're going to try to make something happen. Here's Koifa over in the trees. 9 will scout out with the Illusory Orb. Koifa getting off that crush. They follow up the Dream Coil, though. Silence coming out from 9. Can they do enough damage? Tiny, though, he's here as well. As he just tosses 9 up into the air. He will fall, as well as Fata. And these long-range kisses coming out over onto Skeeter. They could go for a dive. I don't even know if they need it. They don't. Taiga just from downtown.
Oh, they rotated so well there. Mickey was super ready. They had this nice observer ward that was spotting in the lane, so I think they saw the rotation coming or something, but they reacted so well, jumping Mickey in there in time. The problem is that Koifa is just really tanky. He was too difficult to kill. They don't have that much burst damage. Here's the initiation again. Yeah, they jump in, the Avatos comes in, they use Cookie Jump as well, and instant 6 there, and as a result, he gets to pick off Drow. There's nothing Drow can do other than run. Maybe he could have juked a little bit, but he's close to trees, so it was like kind of... it's kind of difficult there. Taking now dying in the top lane. Sumail rotates over. Koifa gives vision. The hood is up on Slardar. His goal is just not to die because he knows he's the most vulnerable. And now the game's looking pretty scary for Tundra here. Avatos bot lane, Fata.
Yep. He even goes for the overgrowth, just trying to buy a little bit more time, but it doesn't matter. Taiga gets himself yet another kill, and the Blink Dagger on Tiny, I believe, now is revealed as well.
Rough one here. Very dangerous for Tundra. When you go Drow lineups like this, you're supposed to win your lanes and get ahead and sit in a good place, but I just wonder if the Drow was a better fighter in the laning stage and you paired that with Tree, yeah, maybe they win their lanes, but it just felt a little bit too weak against the Slardar.
I mean, I like the concept of what Tundra's doing again, and it was a little bit greedier when you consider that snaking was going to be doing, you know, the jungling. And they do have some solutions, right? They've got this capability of just dropping Plague Wards, canceling out Mickey's, you know, his Blink Dagger, and snaking can kind of push them back. But like you said, it's a very tempo lineup, and we haven't seen a lot of successful moves coming out from 9, unfortunately, on this puck either.
Yeah, the one rotation bottom did not work out. I mean, they have the one advantage they do have right now is Venom's excellent at defending towers, especially with level 4 Plague Wards. It just, the creeps pretty much just die no matter what, and they can just put living armor on the tree as well, or the tower as well, to heal it and give it armor. So it directly counters Snapfire Will Shredder, and also just keeps it more healed. So their goal is basically, even though they haven't necessarily won the laning stage, they can still buy themselves some time and some map control. They'll eventually kill their opponent's towers, and with that, it might make it easier for them to invade.
Ooh, that is a dead Snake King. Taiga's on a killing spree.
Having to go 3-0-4 on Taiga. He's doing so well.
Well, I mean, these are the kind of moves that you like to see. You like to see your tempo hero moving around with +1 or +2, and double damage now over here on Sumail. They're just gonna rip down this middle tower, and there's really not much that they can do over on the side of Tundra.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna be able to defend this. They basically need Venom wards set up here to defend. But yeah, way too much damage, especially with the DD on Morphling. Yeah, good luck tanking 350 physical damage at this point of the game.
They're just gonna walk right into Roche. They have the capability to do this very quickly with the reduction on the armor. Liquid has just hit this pace, and you know, like we said, the Venomancer is nice, but he needs to be set up already. He needs to have those plague wards. It's very similar in terms of like attack keys in a sense, you know? You've got to have that stuff already in place. Otherwise, you know, you can't do nearly as much.
It's just one of those kills that is really, really painful when you get picked off like that, but you are the tower defender. He left the bot lane probably because it felt unsafe to try to defend there, like very easy to get dived against Blink Tiny, but then he got caught in the jungle, then they shift him in, that DD was perfect timing to get them a tower. And the Roche, 3k disadvantage now for Tundra.
That was
Looking
such a
scary.
disgusted noise right there, just ugh.
They do have a blink on Axe though, no Vanguard, but just Ring of Health, but he's able to set up kills for his team, which is exactly what they need right now.
I was about to ask you,
almost got Spirit Vessel too.
do you like the fact that, you know, he just skipped the Vanguard completely? Because he did have a really rough laning stage, and he does need to be the initiator, like follow up along with 9 or what have you, but it feels a little scary, right?
It's the right thing to do, because if you go back for Vanguard, then yes, you're more survivable, but the whole goal of getting Vanguard super fast is that you get it so early that it blocks like all of the damage when it gets blocked. But now look what he can do. He's going to actually help in this fight. Vanguard wouldn't do that.
Look at the way Insania is positioned, though. The jump forward immediately from 33. The go, they'll drop the Chaotic Offering, and they've got the Fatal Bonds. The silence is off. Toss back over on the back lines here from Mickey as he just blows up Snake King almost instantly. 33 next to fall, and 9 is just going to try to run away. They've got these long-range Mortimer Kisses, though. They can find him over in the corner. They'll wait a little bit longer, but again, you can run, but you can't hide from these kisses.
And it works out again. The Hood, Treads, Wand, Bracer, Chipped Vest, Slardar, and he just tanks through it all the way through with help from Insania. Doesn't get in chop range. They just don't have that much burst damage at all on their lineup. The only hero that has burst basically is Puck. That's it. Maybe Axe a little bit, but game's looking very, very rough, because as it continues, Sumail gets more and more farmed.
That is a dead Snake King again. And again, we talked about this. You know, you do have that living armor coming out from this Treant Protector, but you also need these Plague Wards to be set up. And if you're dead, you don't have Plague Wards set up.
Yeah.
Draw's going to be so careful here. They could just get jumped immediately if they're not careful.
Yeah. It feels like the dam is broken to me, though. It feels really difficult to come back from this. Yes, they are defending the safe lane. Fada's slowing it down with living armor and with Nature's Grasp. He's even putting wards behind the tower. That'll help him spot to see if he's about to get dived. So they'll keep the tier 1 alive, but losing mid and now the top tower just means that Roche control is negated, mostly from Tundra. At least it's a lot harder. It'll be very easy for Liquid to always retain Roche, get the shard, keep getting advantage there.
I mean, I would say that Tundra never had control of the Roche area after a certain point. Yeah, bot tower goes down. They're trying to get into position, but...
And he did this by himself, which is even more a sign of how the game looks rough. Sumail TPing for another DD rune. Very nice for him.
And I mean, you saw him earlier. He was in the bottom lane. He chased Fada around for a good, like, 10, 15 seconds, and he was just like, I don't need this, and just focused down on the wave. He's got his priorities straight here. It's all about the towers.
I wonder if Snake King should have jungled more hard and not tried to roam. I feel like he went bottom to try to help stabilize because they lost that first kill, but he only had like 1 Poison Sting, 2 Plague Wards, which was difficult. Treant Protector may be in trouble here.
Yeah, he used the Overgrowth just to slow down Koifa, but is going to be able to walk away. But that's, you don't have Overgrowth, though. I guess you don't want to really fight just yet either on the side of Tundra. You're still having some difficulties, but feels like a big ulti to drop there just to disengage.
It is, but at least he gets to still put armor on the map, fingers crossed. 3-3 in a position to get initiation here, but little does he know he's going to find Insania.
Goes right past Insania, blinks away though. I don't think Koifa's going to be able to find him in time now. He's out.
Koifa, finished pipe, no blink on him. He knows what his role is. He goes to the dangerous parts of the map. He gets backed up by his allies, and then his opponents will try to kill him, but with pipe, he resists the large majority of the damage coming from Tundra. Because unless Drow is there, and even if Drow's there, the damage is just not very high on the Tundra side. They really were supposed to like win the safe lane, kill Slardar. Drow was supposed to take control of the lane, and then Slardar's behind, and then it gives them a lot more space to like defend towers and get kills.
It's just scary because, oh, look at this. Immediately Fata spotted out. They don't quite land the avalanche though, but Sumail just going right on and finds Fata. Taiga waiting nearby. Cookie up forward, and the little shredder will clean up the tree.
that's a kill that wouldn't have happened in the last patch. He would have been invisible here at level 10, but until the 20-minute mark, he's not able to pick the shard up, and now this pressure is just so much easier. And oh my god. I think this tower is just dead. That's going to give them outpost control instantly at the 18-minute mark and just give them so much more experience advantage over the next 10 minutes.
The Aegis does end up getting reclaimed, so they won't have to worry about that. But again, it's just so scary. Like, the fact they have so much control all over this map right now, coming out for the side of Liquid, and Tundra's just slowly getting choked out more and more. Where has the Venom been setting up these wards?
Just they took the top tier one, which is something to do at this point for freebies.
Yeah.
But oh no,
Oh,
that's a toss back on Skeeter.
The Sari comes out, and that's a dead drow. So.
Yep. And now the push continues. Another tier 2. More map control.
They had a ward over here. Did they spot out 33? I think they did. Yeah, look at this. Coif is hunting. He knows he's there somewhere. Blinking. Okay, 33 should be able to survive that.
Still no blink on Slardar just yet. He's almost got it though, so he's only like a pipe ahead of where Axe is. That's all. No big deal.
No big deal. Oh god.
Yeah, this is utter map control here. And the other downside is that because Fada can stand in the trees, he's like the only person that can push lane. So his net worth is doing okay, but
33 walking into 3 heroes. They have, again, we talk about the vision game being so important here, and you can see all of these nice little points wherever Tundra would like to venture out and perhaps get into their own jungle. They have the vision, so they just get to jump on them each time. And like you said, Fata can walk through trees, but he can also die very, very easily too.
Yeah, that one felt to me like he was expecting maybe a lane ward like there was in the top lane, so maybe he felt safer walking to the jungle to get to that area. Yeah, but yeah, they spotted him in. Well, that smoke, Will they play any differently?
Another double damager. Oh my word.
Okay, they're going to back up briefly here to sit in a more defensive position because they know that their opponents are in desperation territory here.
I mean, they've got enough. This is the 3rd DD that Sumail's going to be picking up for this match. Like, they could just go wherever they want, blow up anyone. The only person might be a little difficult is, you know, trying to get their hands on 9 because it is a puck, but...
Like, what, 8 runes total have spawned and 3 have been DD? I think there's like...
Sumail.
I think there's like 6 different runes that can spawn, and 3 have been DD. That's pretty... And they have a Morphling? Yeah, that's pretty... A little dirty, but realistically, they probably would still be in this position without the DD.
Okay, they're going to try to get a call off. 9 waiting nearby here, does go for the Dream Coil. They have to be careful, though. The rest of the team, they drop the Chaotic Offering. There's going to be those long-range kisses coming into effect, and they finish off. Sumail's not looking good. 33 over onto the back lines. Is trying to escape. He tries to get the armor. He's not going to be able to, as he's the first one to fall. And now the hunt is on Koifa. Cookie hop forward. Would love to get his hands on Snake King. Isn't going to be able to quite make that jump just yet, but the avalanche from Mickey just blowing up Snake King. They take both of those Tundra boys down very quickly, and they're going right on in. The jump in again from Koifa. He's found himself a Drought Ranger. There's going to be the 2 buybacks, though. They want to punish it. They've gone a little bit far here as 9 silence up over here onto Koifa. They'll find the kill over on Slardar. Cookie hopping out here from Taiga. They're still hunting. 33 would love to get over there fast enough. Sumail, though, they turn right back around. 33 just gets blown up. He's got nothing here. Silence again over here onto Sumail. They'll try to slow him down. Mickey making his ways over onto the back lines. A toss forward over to Skeeter's just going to be able to go and blow up Sumail. Staking also falling.
Well, they got their second kill at least. Yeah, I felt it too. I was like, there's, after that fight, like, that's 2 racks at least. What a absolute trouncing by Liquid. But keep in mind that what Tundra tried to do here was an effective, potentially good strat. It's a little bit cheesy in the sense that it's like super up tempo. So you're like trying to like hit a timing, but because their laning stage did not go well, it just went a little bad, and that's all it takes for a finicky strat like this. So they tried something cool. It did not work. Liquid crushed it, and they made it look weak for what it can be. If you lose those lanes and you don't set tempo on your opponents, you are going to lose against a normal draft. So Liquid did the safe thing, and they outplayed a little bit in their laning stage, and they crushed the game.
And I mean, that's something that it does go back to the draft a little bit. It's always fun and interesting to see something new, but when you're a bit of the underdog, I think a lot of people would agree with that statement. You know, you have to bring your A game against a team like Liquid. They're not going to let you, make any mistakes. They're going to punish anything that's a little bit untraditional. And in this game, I think we definitely saw that happen. But game number 1 of the series going over to Liquid in very convincing fashion. And we'll have to see if Tundra can get themselves a victory in game number 2.
Well, I hope that regardless if they can get a victory or not, they make it a little bit more even than this, because this, it was a stump. And we're going to talk about that and prepare for game 2 after the break. You were too slow. We praised the draft of Tundra. We praised it hard. We said this draft has got some awesome potential. It needs some high skill execution to do it though, but it looks great. And unfortunately, that high skill execution just went straight out of the window at the start of the game already as they fell apart rapidly. We said Liquid, after 35 minutes, they look good. No, they looked good after 5. I'm here with Kyle and T, and this game, T, is not even at all.
Yeah, it's just one of those games where you have the idea of how to beat the heroes in lane, but it just doesn't really come to. You have this Axe Veno playing pretty disconnected because the Veno's not enabling the Axe. The Axe is left on an island.
He started in the jungle.
He did.
He spent the first minute of the game pre-placing wards.
Yeah,
Not ideal.
Not ideal.
You gotta get together, get some
he
levels.
had some lag.
Oh.
Sorry.
You can't lag when you're jungling.
Just for anyone who remember, they did have to pause for the Veno to efficiently
that was a
jungle.
The
joke,
focus,
don't worry.
Liquid, absolutely dumpstering the lanes that were competitive. Slardar Snap should not crush Tree Drow as hard as they did. You know, the mid, it's going to happen. 9 going up against the King. You would expect, what else would we expect?
I mean, it's getting old. But he did do well.
Yeah.
He did do well. Yes, Samil's Morphling did great. Someone who didn't do great was the Axe, who got left by himself on an island on the top lane. It was pretty sad for 33. He didn't really get a lot out of that lane either. So all 3 lanes going pretty abysmally.
Yeah.
What do you do then?
Just kind of, I guess.
What do you do?
What? No, you change it up. You got another draft. You got game 2, potentially game 3 if they can bounce back. And they've played so much better. And I think they've, especially in this game, they all in on winning the lanes.
Yeah.
And it's rare that you lose all lanes so poorly, right? Like I think this is just going to be go back to
in
the
upper
book.
division for sure. Yes.
Yeah, because also we've had interviews from 33. I love playing off lane to apply pressure to keep heroes here.
Yeah.
He's playing off lane in a way that the position 5 alone is zoning him. So yeah, I think they just kind of got a little bit too creative with things.
Yeah.
Reel it back a little bit and just play some normal Dota. They're a good enough team to beat most of the teams in upper division.
Yep.
They just get a bit too creative sometimes.
And then on the other side, they are up against a team that does a lot of things right. All the little things done right, actually, as Brian will tell us.
Thank you, Shiver. As I always preach the appreciation of the little things. And we're going to see bottom lane to start. We have Slardar Snapfire. Most Snapfire is leveling Little Shredder in this current patch, but Taiga's actually going to elect to level the Cookie to get Quakefa in range. This is right at the beginning of the laning phase, and they're going to get off right to an explosive start. And we see that Tundra might not have had as good of a grasp of the laning stage as he did take Leech Seed, which is a little bit odd because Skeeter's not exactly a hero that can be in range to capitalize on the heal from that. And we are going to go to the top lane where we then get to see the treatment they're getting top from 33, getting completely bullied. Even Mikke is taking part in this. He's already underneath this tower at 0 HP, forced to pop a salve after 2 creep waves. And we now get to follow the life of 33 for the next 30 seconds to a minute, where Insania is going to hunt him down. He's hiding in the trees, just trying to soak some XP so that he can get the next wave. But Insania is not going to let him get this for free, as he is chasing him all around. 33 is dragging a creep wave, but the creep wave loses sight of him at those trees, and he ends up losing 2/3 of them anyways. In the meanwhile, Tiny is not only free farming, but he's also farming a hard camp at the same time. So both side lanes starting out a bit rough. And now we're going to see a really cool move from Liquid in the bottom lane. Something you don't see typically from a Slardar, but he's going to leave after the lane pushes in, and he's going to utilize the double damage on the bash, the change that just happened with this patch, and he's going to farm 2 hard camps. And this may seem like a very small efficiency thing to nitpick, but what's going to happen is he's going to get this hard camp plus that one, and we're going to see what happens is Snapfire's farming underneath the tower, and this is going to give Taiga nearly level 6 at the exact same time Quakefa does. So then we go to the clip where Quakefa's now getting gone on 9. He's trying to make something happen, recover the laning stage a little bit, but they're going to get the kill onto the puck, which gives Taiga his level 6 because he was getting solo XP underneath the tower. And now Skeeter is also going to go down with some beautiful kisses. I really wish Taiga would kiss me like that.
Wow. I just don't know how to continue on from that. Thank you, Brian.
I mean, that's romantic.
Very romantic. Something, by the way, that is a little bit of a trend between both of these teams, or not between the teams, but for both of these teams, is that for 3 out of the 4 series that both teams have played, all the times it was Liquid winning game 1, Liquid losing game 2. And on the other side, it's Tundra losing game 1, and winning game 2. So hopefully we get a little bit of a trend repeating here as we head into the second game of this best of 3 series, because I would like to see a little bit more of a competitive game compared to that first one. We're heading into a break, but when we're back, it is drafting time for Tundra and Liquid for game 2. Game 2, Tundra versus Liquid, upper division of the Western European DPC League. You're watching DreamLeague Season 15, powered by Intel. We got a great day of Dota here. Of course, we're in the middle of this best of 3 between Tundra and Team Liquid, which, by the way, this series super important for both the teams, and their series after this also very important for both the teams. OG versus Secret, by the way. I was going for the wrong side so that people couldn't hear me, and then it wouldn't be... Whatever, we have the draft. Here with T and Kyle. And we're well on the way in the draft.
Jeez.
That is a very ambitious opener from Tundra. We've talked a lot about Puck. It is untouched in China, a region most look at as the strongest out. And the fact that Tundra continue to open with it, it has to be a fodder hero in this context. Because Liquid, they get their go-to Lina pick and a morph. If you show that Puck is mid, Sumail will play morph mid, and he will once again dominate the matchup.
Yeah.
But this is something where the format of DPC allows teams to have development, right? Like we saw previous weeks, it was the Leshrac, it was the winner. They relied heavily on a small hero pool, and now they've had a weak break or whatever, And now we're seeing a whole new Liquid where it's like, oh, we can't just go for this mid-sumo Morphling. He is our win condition now. He used to be the win condition on semi-core heroes. Let's upgrade him one more time and get everyone going a bit more fight-oriented. So yeah,
The thing is, you could be right, but it could also be as simple as they love Puck. Tundra have picked it all season long.
Yeah.
Last season as well. It's almost always Nine's hero.
Pick a casual Morphling, play the lane. Yeah, that's true.
When
Sure.
you say almost always, this season alone, it has always been for 9. It never was not for 9.
And that's why it's such an odd, you know, how many other teams do we see first twoing their mid-hero?
I think that the main thing here is the fact that in Europe, Puck is such a hot commodity, but in other regions, for example, like China, the team that won the major, they're barely looking at it. It's like not even in the
It's
pool.
not as
So
good.
It's a European thing. That's the main thing we're getting at here.
Yeah, because we see quite a few teams at the moment picking their mid first, but not Puck.
Yeah, so for example, like we've heard in many interviews now, the idea of mid being that easier lane to play draft here is like the Storm Spirits, the Pucks.
Yeah.
You can
And
just
not
pick,
after you've just been destroyed on Puck.
well, again, like I think the essence of that game, and this is where Tundra, they're gonna have to really demonstrate their ability to bounce back like they've done before.
Yeah, they
is
have done.
You
Yeah.
can't change everything. You need to change certain elements of the draft to ensure that you have at least the same type of game plan.
Because I'd be concerned, you know, for all it could also just be Nine being stubborn. Like he's
Maybe.
a great Puck.
Some players are
plays
like
it a
that,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And he's just like, you know, oh well, they're not going to ban it. I'll pick it again. Like that was a fluke. We jungled. That was the problem. It had nothing to do with the mid matchup. We'll see. Trouble is, Clock doesn't really do a damn thing to Morphling either, and in general is just not considered strong enough to first two. It's great against Lina in theory, but you're countered by a force staff.
So they've played it once, and it was a snaking clock
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah, I think the main thing with why Clock is a little bit offbeat is just because the heroes that are good right now, you know, the Svens, the Lifestealers, the PLs, you know, all these heroes don't care about Clockwork at all. So first phasing, it does open up the draft a little bit more in regards to having a good sort of counter pick. But either way, Tundra, they kind of solidify their draft with this, again, flexible Tide Hunter. Clock can now be 4 or 5. Tide can now, they've run it 4 before or off lane.
Yeah.
And at least they have team fight. My fear is simply, they don't have clean lockdown for a Morphling that's been first phased. That's the key thing here.
What?
Sorry, just if anyone's watching, don't sit in the chair like Blitz.
No.
Don't do that.
Oh, that was so smart. They went from one camera. Oh, look, spin back. Oh my God. Go back, Blitz. Go back. Wait, look. Woo! Oh, that's amazing camera work production.
It actually is great camera, but yeah, don't use it.
Oh, he's going back. Are we going back? Of course. Oh, no, we're not. I made
That
it.
seems somewhere new? No.
I like that Tundra removed the Lesh. They have a big trouble.
dab on their whiteboard.
Okay, what?
Dab.
It says dab. They're dabbing.
DAB. It also says TF. Tempo.
No, they don't know what 4 or 3. You know, they're just
Okay,
mixing
but
up the
it also
roles.
says tempo, so they want to play fast.
Cool.
Yeah.
Inside the brain of Liquid.
What does he say here? Coach, player, AWP, rifle.
What, are we
Excuse
playing
me?
I Spy? What's going on?
Yeah.
My little eye. I saw something with...
This is what true competition is about. You don't just read what your players are doing in game. You also try to figure out what they're talking about.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh. Did not think Winter
nice.
Wyvern was something that they were talking about.
I don't mind it just for the fact that you now, if this Clockwork is your 4 position, you have a 5 that can disconnect himself from the type of damage that Clockwork brings to a lane.
Yeah. It's also not removed by Kraken Shell, so theoretically later in the game you can target a Tide with it or use it to combo break after a Ravage.
Mhm.
The ult, that is.
I guess, yeah, a key thing as well is just the idea of they wanted to have one aspect of heal with the Morphling. We saw how dominant that Morphling Warlock is within the game, and now they have Wyvern Morphling, same concept. This Cold Embrace when he's low gives him so much HP. The effectiveness of heal is
See,
amplified on this
They're
hero.
clever. They turn their board around so that we can't read it.
But Sheaves,
What?
it's the oldest trick in the book. You only show your enemies what you want them to see.
Yeah.
How
Remember
do we
Thunder
know?
Predator, the tweet, which was like, we
Yeah.
play, what hero was it again? Was it the IO or something?
Yeah, something like
We're
that.
practicing lots of IO. Ha! Shame. Just was a tweet, mate. They ban it. They lose the
No,
series.
they actually, that would
the
have
other
been
way
too
around.
obvious. They just included a screenshot
Yeah.
of them practicing, and it had their carry player playing
See,
with.
there we go.
So it wasn't, you know, you thought, oh, I'm clever, I'm going to find out what they're doing, but it was actually all a ploy. Shadow Demon, definitely underrated, but immediate Void Spirit from Liquid.
SD at least is a very good counter to Morphling. When Morphling does poke up to high ground, you disrupt him, you get your own double illusion, you can quickly burst him, or at least put him lower with the Soul Catcher, but... I'm just the lack of lockdown right now and early presence in the game.
Damage.
Yeah, exactly. Tundra, they've got kind of cute answers to their heroes, but like 25 minutes plus. You know, these big mid-game fights, the utilization of the big spells. But early on, their entry to the game, what they lacked in the first one, it's non-existent. This reminds me, honestly, of the series beforehand.
Yeah, and the other issue with SD is whenever I'm playing against a hero that has... Your disruption is a setup stun for Lina, if not controlled. And I, once again, I'm just concerned that Tundra is... They need a dominant laning phase. Otherwise, their draft won't have damage. They have last pick, of course, but is that a Medusa ban?
That's a Mars ban. He does sound like Medusa. Yes.
So are we saying then so in regards to Tundra, the way they're playing this game, it's Tide Hunter off lane with SD4, utilizing the Shadow Poison to make stacks, Fat Tide, a Clockwork 5 to enable some hard carry, and then for Liquid, they're most likely playing Morphling and Wyvern in the same lane, Void Spirit mid, a hero that cannot get ganked by the Clockwork, and then you have Lina being enabled by some big melee off lane that Koif was yet to pick.
Centaur still in the pool. Not a fantastic hero in the game. Would make the clock very happy if he's playing against Lina Centaur.
And they go for let's go for Slardar.
So this is in truth a terrible Slardar game, but we were talking about it in the green room during that last game. It's never Slardar will always do what Slardar can do in a draft.
Roshan
gives you Roche, minus armor, very tanky. Not great against SD, Tide, or Clock. Like, it's actually a really rough game for you, but Morph Slardar, we saw in the last game, activates Roche at 15 minutes, and in addition, ensures that Morph will be king. Now, Tundra, you need a carry, and I don't know what it is. You're laning with a Clock.
Maybe it's like...
It has to be like a Medusa.
I think they need a big win condition like some Spectre or something that just rinses through the backlines.
But you're gonna get.
I know you're gonna get. I know exactly. That's the issue right now because of the first 4 heroes. With the lack of damage, whatever you pick here, whatever win condition, it's gonna feel awkward. And they picked
Terrorblade into a Morphling and a Wyvern.
Yeah, so they picked Terrorblade into one of the better counters in regards to the carry matchup. At least it's a high armor hero for the Slardar. But yeah, my big fear for Tundra is once again. Their win condition isn't the best win condition.
That is the first Terrorblade in the upper division, by the way.
Yeah. I'm a little bit concerned from Tundra. They just lack early damage to kind of cushion the Terrorblade's need to farm. And that should allow Liquid to apply pressure. But at least this time, Terrorblade isn't going to be the one feeding in the Slardar lane. But if Lina has a really good lane and applies that pressure by dodging kind of Farda's presence, then I can see TB having pressure.
You just hit him. Like, you might be able to land a kill with a meta, but it's going to be on one hero at most. With meta down, you're going to be in danger. And for me, it's not the top lane. It's about how are you going to make moves as Tundra. You have so many huge cooldowns. Without meta, without Ravage, you're not taking a team fight. And Liquid, they need one kill, and they can capitalize. It's just... Nine has to do much better mid to start.
Nine has to have a good time, but TB also needs to get to a point where he has a quick enough Scardy butterfly timing where he can actually be the frontline damage dealer. But that alone, that's so much farm. Yeah.
Morph.
Last game, we said that the draft was great from Tundra, but it needed a high level of execution. How is their level of execution needed for this game round? Even if you guys don't seem to like the draft all that much, is it at least easier to execute?
Shouldn't get ahead of ourselves. They need to just not get crushed in lanes.
Okay.
That's step one.
Step one.
They need item advantage on TB to offset how good Morphling is into TB. Because if you have some Scardy advantage and you get the right initiation, I can see them having nice pacing, but it's stop the Roshan going to Liquid, don't get bodied in all lanes, and have a jungle to farm so that TB can use the SD stack teammate.
They want to do the same thing they did last game. Abuse wave pressure, get this insurmountable advantage. Terrorblade suddenly is 7k ahead of the game, and now you can't fight because there's a Tide waiting there to Ravage.
Exactly, yeah.
But can you get there?
You've got to get through the lanes.
Well, let's see if they can repeat some results they've had so far. Game 2 generally is a success for Tundra. Can they do that again? We're finding out together with Moxie and Purge.
Well, we're seeing some things show up again here, such as the Samael Morphling, but this time we're seeing a hero that has not been picked in the upper division yet. We have the Terrorblade, and I believe he did have a couple buffs applied to him, Purge.
He did. I just looked them up. Okay, the first one that's probably most significant, his base armor got increased by 2. That is a huge amount of physical resistance, and against a Slardar who does all physical damage, this is going to be good. Like, him getting pressured and killed by Slar is going to be way more difficult than it would be otherwise. So he's also got 4 more base damage, 1 more regen at the start of the game, and Metamorphosis is a little bit weaker. So he's basically going to be stronger outside of meta than he was before, and within meta, he's still pretty much the same. So definitely laning stage is going to be stronger for him, but there's probably a reason that nobody else is picking him.
Well, I mean, they definitely had difficulties during the laning stage earlier, so perhaps that was the idea. And also, we know that Skeeter does like to play the Terrorblade. We've seen him do it quite a bit in the past. But I feel this time, I want to see stacks coming out from the side of Tundra. I want to make sure that 33 is enabled this time around, because last time it felt like he was really hung out to dry.
He was, for sure. I mean, that was the nature of the jungle, jungle Venno, but it would have been better if they won their lanes, their safe lane a little bit harder, because then he could have participated in some kills and caught up with his team winning advantage. But see how many bounties they get. It's going to be hard for Fada to approach us. Maybe 1 to 2 is what it's looking like here for the Tundra side. Okay, they'll be all right.
Yeah, they should be able to grab up 2. So a nice even split to start everything off. And everyone's headed off to the lanes.
Oh, they got both wards. Dude, Liquid is just reading their mind. They killed the first one at the top rune spot where Fada had placed it. I think they just placed it blind or something, and they just found it. And this one as well. They must have seen them place it with the observer ward or something, or just guessed. Not sure.
I mean, I would not be surprised if there was an element of luck involved, just because of the fact that Sumail did get 3 double damage runes in that last game.
Sure, they're using their luck for the last couple games of the league. Definitely worth it. Ooh, good dodge by Fada here. Gets the battery assault, dodges the stun. It's going to get a lot more damage in as a result.
I mean, I guess on the plus side over here with the side of Tundra, you do have some kind of tankier heroes that can face up against the Slardar. The Lina, of course, is just really, really annoying. It's very difficult to deal with her as that 4 position, constantly, you know, tossing out those right clicks, but not quite as papery as last time.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be a little bit harder for them to kill the TB, at least outside of during meta for sure. He'll be completely fine. Yeah, they're doing a good job so far. Dodge the second life strike right here.
Fada's gonna
be vulnerable.
Yeah, I was about to say, Fada's gonna be the little guy who's taking all the hits for his friend over here.
Yep, and he doesn't have good armor. Clockwork is sitting at 2.2 base, so much less than the 9.7 that Terrablade's working with right now.
Pretty wild to think about, right? You'd figure that a little robot would have enough armor, but not in this case. This is a silly game.
Literally wearing a suit of armor. I think it's a person wearing armor, if I'm not mistaken, in the lore.
Really? It's a little person?
I think so. I might be wrong.
Actually, somebody call up Slacks. We gotta know. I gotta know. I thought he was a little android.
He is. I might be wrong, though.
Purge, you're just leading me astray here.
Shouldn't bring the lore facts without knowing my lore, I guess. But
never gonna forgive you. Bottom lane, though, it does feel like 33 having a much more comfortable time having that Shadow Demon also there to help pass some of that harass off. So 33 looking all right here, but LSA, of course, coming through. It's Fada just making a big old target every time he tries to use those cogs and burns off Koifa's mana.
it's a good goal. I mean, taking away Southern Crotch basically takes away last hitting potential for Koifa, where he can do things like stun right before Skeeter goes for a last hit. Things like that. Yep, draining again, and there we go. Slardar completely out of mana here. Taiga only has a Sage's Mask, so he can't feed him any way to get his mana back up, so kind of a nice method here. That's going to definitely make the lane feel a lot safer for Skeeter.
Bottom lane, Snake King. He's going to fall to Insania.
Okay, so the case in, it's not a robot, but he is part of Kingfolk. Okay, yeah, I was right.
Thank you, guys.
Yes. Okay, so this is not terrible for Tundra's cores. Both Skeeter on the Terrorblade and 3-3 on the Tide are not the vulnerabilities in the lanes. It's going to come down to the supports that are the ones to kill. So if Liquid keeps targeting these and gets some lane advantage out of that, good for them, basically.
I'd like to see if Tundra is actually going to try to make these rotations and try to secure the runes again, because they did that last time, and it helped out. I mean, I was going to say it helped out Nine a little bit here, because, you know, he was able to get the top rune, and then the bottom one was denied from Sumail, but Sumail didn't seem like he cared at all, though.
Sumail's already doing better. I mean, he's got like a 15... He's got a 15 damage. Oh, he cleared those? That's pretty cool. Sumail's got a 15 damage advantage already in the mid lane. He's got 6 denies versus Puck's 0, actually, so Sumail once again doing well in the mid lane. But yeah, Puck's a little bit more mobile, so it should be easier for him to get runes generally.
It doesn't look like we're seeing anybody really make those rotations over here to help secure the runes. Bottom lane, though, you do get the Arctic Burn over here on 33. He's a big tanky boy, though, so Not going to be able to quite burst him down. Just going to try to harass them for the time being. And now you do see that movement. All right, Snaking is going to go to the bottom spot. He's already got 9 here. So Sumail will be able to take the top water rune.
3-3 might be in trouble, but he's fine. They're basically hitting him with a lot of nuke damage, which is hurting him. But he's got 2 points in Kraken, 2 points in Anchor. He didn't get Gush. He's not trying to get kills here. Like, maybe they could kill Winter Wyvern, but it's kind of difficult, and Void Spirit's a hard kill for sure. So he's just focusing on getting as tanky as possible with the fast Ring of Health. He'll get a fast Hood. That'll stop most of the magic damage from affecting him. And frankly, Tidehunter's not bad against Slardar either, because Slardar's minus armor from Corrosive Haze, yeah, they're going to do more damage, but as soon as he takes like 450 damage, his Kraken Shell procs and Slardar ulti gets removed. So Tide is pretty good against this matchup. The only hero that I'm really worried about is probably like Morphling E-Blade combo, because then it doesn't really matter as much of Kraken procs. There's just a lot of magic damage. Even if like the E-Blade aspect gets dispelled, it's like you're still taking so much raw damage that Tide can struggle there a bit. But Hood should help against that. And with 3-3 having a better game here, and with them having a potential Shadow Demon to save people from getting killed, there's definitely much better counterplay for Tundra this match.
Well, Snaking making his way back bottom. Will rejoin here with 33. I wouldn't be surprised to see him doing some more stacking for himself and getting some of that. Yeah, over here you can already see the lane has been pulled off. Sania not willing to share any of this here with Snaking. We'll pop the Arctic Burn. Which, again, it's actually quite nice against the Tidehunter, too, right? The fact that it's got the percentage base.
Yeah, Tide has pretty high health, but not, like, insanely high. And if he takes too much damage, it does actually dispel it as well. So it kind of works, but it's like... Tide is just... he's looking really good in this game. He's gotten 3 points of Kraken as well. He legitimately wants to be able to solo lane against Void Spirit, and this could actually be pretty bad for Void. Because with Tide finishing his Hood at this point, if he just picks up, like, a Phase Boots or something, 3-3 is going to contest this lane. And that's going to allow Snaking to leave, too, if he wants to.
Thought of putting a little bit more pressure here on Taiga in the top lane. Will land the LSA, though. Perhaps he outplayed himself. They have the stuns. Can they finish off Fata? That was a question as they get another hit here. And down goes Fata. Snaking also teleporting up to the top area.
Skeeter really couldn't do much there. He didn't really try to approach, but it's fine. Buying time for him with his huge armor. The right clicks from Lina don't hurt that bad. The right clicks from Slardar are not that worrisome in comparison. You might have some regen sustain issues, but like there's a 1k gold advantage going to Liquid side, and yeah, the Morphling is scary, but I think things are looking pretty good for Tundra right now. And now 3-3 gets to just bully Mickey. Every time Mickey warns forward, he just slaps him. And this is a nice place to be in, like if you do go for this like max Kraken Shell build. I've done it once against an AM, and it felt pretty good.
Do you see how deep of a ward Insania just placed over in the triangle area?
Oh yeah, that's pretty deep.
He spotted out the stacks too. Like he's got a lot of information over here. There's like a stack over to the side, but disruption, Snaking, grabbing up the arcane. Can they make a play here? Is the question. The silence, some mills. Char already starting to morph it, so no burst or enough burst damage, I suppose I should say, to really enable him here. As Snaking, he's trying to get there. He gets the deny off. Sumail's got to be pretty miffed about that.
It's okay. He'll just morph and get all his health back.
What's a water boy without water, though, Purge?
True. Well, that was a bounty run, dude.
Well, yeah.
But I suppose
I meant
you
the
can
bottle.
trade.
I meant the bottle is, you know, a liquid, and he's also a liquid, so.
Okay, gotcha. Could always
You're
trade
going
the money
too literal
for
on me,
water.
Purge, please. Over here, again, the cogs come out over here on Taiga. The Snake King's there. Skeeter doesn't even. I guess he'll turn around. He's like, yeah, I could go for a hit here, but he's a little bit late. I'm not sure. Do they have enough? Yes, they do. They have enough stacks of that Shadow Poison to take down Taiga.
That was a little scary. That was only level 1 Shadow Poison. Shadow Demon was only level 2 there, so it was like close to him surviving, but getting a kill stabilized the lane. Net worth advantage is decent right now. TB about 500 net worth behind where Quake is, though, so maybe not the best, but yeah, 3-3's survivability is just, he's invulnerable now. He actually can't die in this lane, and that's why Shadow Demon is now roaming. And King will get stuff done. 3-3 level 7, now 2. I don't even know why they're trying. He's like legitimately unkillable, unless somebody rotates, I suppose.
Yeah, but you have a feeling that Sumail's probably going to stay up here unless he gets a specific like rune of opportunity, or the fight actually gets brought to him, but... Yeah.
If 3-3 gets killable, yeah, they can maybe do something about it. Mickey used an Astral Step earlier to do some poke damage on 3-3, but I was like, what's the point? I think he's just figuring out now that Kraken Shell is maxed out. That's not something that's super obvious right away. You got to hit him a couple of times, check some numbers, and be like, okay, this guy's legitimately impossible to kill. So even though he's not going to farm necessarily as fast, just staying in lane is already going to do a lot for his advantage. So
And it's interesting how they, oh, there it is. There's that double damager in for Tundra this time around. But yeah, you know, you saw the fact that Snaking, he made this rotation fairly early once they realized that 33 totally fine here, soloing this lane. Not going to be pressured out. And now we get a smoke coming out from the side of Tundra, so perhaps they can make something. Insania, though, will be the one who breaks the smoke. Waning Rift coming out. It's going to just go over here to the high ground. Got a bit of vision. They have great heroes, actually, for that, as Insania now is just going to try to draw away their attention. He's going to tank the gank here for his core, though he does have the capability of staying alive a little bit longer. This is a lot of time that they're actually just spending trying to take down Insania. Eventually, they get him, but that is not the target that they wanted on the side of Tundra.
Yeah, they definitely wanted. I mean, they still could dive. They didn't use Dream Coil. That's the crucial thing here. And yeah, McKay's going to TP away. It seemed a little lucky that Insania found him. He seemed surprised when he moved in there. It looked like he just wanted to put a ward down, but I've comes towards Fada. He's level 5. He's got a tango though, so he can actually get out of here.
Teleports are coming in though in mass here. Battery assault slows him down just a little bit. McKay with a step forward over on the back lines though. 9 finds himself a kill on Taiga. They'll get the kill on Fata, but he's bought some time here for those supports to make the rotation at 9. Can they do anything more, I guess, is the question.
It's hard.
That's
got
with
treads
McKay.
and a raindrop.
Ooh, and Insania. They're all making these moves as Sumail just continues to farm up and enjoy the space.
Puck is so strong with the DD though. Like, has some burst issues here, but with double damage, it was pretty simple for him to pick up the Lina kill. Dodges the corrosive haze that would have come out. Here's a bottle refill. Fada's back. Maybe they'll fight, but here it comes.
Looking for the Splinter Blast. 9 just immediately ducking away.
That Cogs was so good. Push back Quakeva, no chain stun that would have gotten Puck really low, maybe dead. And now they can defend. What's happening in the meantime? 3-3's taking his own tower by himself. He doesn't care. Well, no one's going to touch him.
Yeah, they can't do anything against him right now. Everybody's here playing the top lane over on the side of Liquid. So 33 is just, you know, a stark difference from game number 1.
Yep. It helps when you get a little bit of help at the start of the laning stage to get to that fast level 2 Kraken shell. So he's queuing up Blink Dagger afterwards. He's got phase boots. He's about, you know, a third to the way to Blink Dagger, but now he's going to go mid and push out. Sumail pressures a little bit, and this is the next tower that Tundra doesn't want to lose. He's basically doing the typical off-lane thing right now. Get tanky and go in the lane that you want to pressure or that you want to stop your opponents from pressuring.
I mean, this is the tower that you really need to protect. Obviously, you know, you're going to have the TB. He's going to be going and jungling during this time. But the middle tower, especially when you're going up against a Slardar lineup, is so incredibly valuable. You want to make sure that you can get in there fast if you have any sort of inkling that they're going for that early Roche.
Yep, exactly. Need that close teleport point, but 3-3 just tanks the tower. It's hard to tell that's hitting him. He's blocking 54 of the damage, and the rest has to match up against his armor and his regen, which is still really high, so he's in a good spot.
He's taking a decent amount of damage, though.
He is.
It's slow, but he is taking damage. In the bottom lane, Koifa. 9 is hunting, does end up getting stunned, though. They get the silence. They're just going to dodge away. They'll go and throw out that disruption over onto Koifa. Dream Coil's going to get used as well. Just going to keep blinking away. Ooh, 9? 9, you might be in trouble here. Doesn't want to snap that coil, though. We'll turn back around, focus attention over here to Snaking. Snaking may end up being the one who goes down here, but they have the illusory orb. Can they get over there fast enough? Yes, they can. They take down Koifa.
That was close, but a huge kill. Snaking gets 6 out of that one. If they don't have Shadow Poison, they just don't have enough damage to kill the Slardar there, but he fought to the death, but wasn't quite enough for him. So Tundra's getting stuff done on the map, unlike last game. These puck rotations, with the help from their higher damage supports, is making things work.
Ooh, Insania. It looks like the Terrorblade doesn't want to go after this, though. It does have that illusion over nearby.
Terrorblade's lifestyle is basically like he doesn't want to do anything for like 15 to 20 minutes if he can help it, because he just doesn't do anything. If the fight comes to him and he can use meta, he's like, okay, sure, I'll do some damage and get some kills. But like, if he has to move at all, he's going to have a bad time. It's just better for him to hit creeps almost always until he hits his item timings here.
He sounds like a teenage boy. Mom, I don't want to do this right now. Give me 15, 20 minutes.
Comes 25-30 and the game went really long. It's sorry. It's not my fault.
Well, then you hope that he's actually, you know, going to show up and do things. But we do have some more of these stacks being farmed up, and that is the beauty, of course, of having this Shadow Demon, is he's able to help take these stacks, get a little farm for himself, help his team out, and now we've got the gank squad coming out from the side of Tundra. They're hoping that they can grab someone, maybe place down some vision too, but who is their lucky? It's going to be Koifa again. They have hook shot. Perhaps a little bit uncoordinated here, but Illusory Orb comes in, the jump forward here from Nine, Waning Rift. They'll follow up with a Dream Coil, and that's a good Winter's Curse coming out as they go right back against the Males, looking to just blow up someone if they can. This Clockwork is not looking too healthy. Fata gonna try to run over here. He's got his little cogs up. Looks like he's gonna survive. Oh, no, he's not. He goes down as Nine gets cleaned up by Mickey, making his own rotation. So big rotation coming out from Liquid to ensure that they can stir up their jungle. But in the middle lane,
good move. They rotate over Skeeter at the same time. The 3-3's there, and they get a ton of tower pressure, and they kill it.
They get the
They can't even
tower.
die.
They need to be careful here. 33, he's got the Ravage if they want to try to commit on this, but it looks like they're happy with this. They're satisfied. How much time do they have on meta left?
Just 10, 20 seconds or
Yeah,
something
so
like that.
that's probably why they didn't want to go in on that, right?
I mean, they maybe could have ravaged, but they needed their opponents to go aggressive and make a mistake and overcommit for the ravage to feel good. But that was a really cool move by Tundra. At the same time that they smoke 3 heroes to go get a kill, they rotate the TB mid with the Tide, and then they take a tower. So they get 2 things accomplished. So even though the fight didn't go good, tactically it was still good for them. And the heroes that died, yeah, 9 died, that wasn't so great. But the other 2 were supports, so that really wasn't bad in the slightest for Tundra because they just got more map control. So they can continue to pressure. Shadow Demon's got level 7 now, so his damage is high. They still have Ravage. They've got Blink on Tide. So now all of their rotations and ganks can be a little bit more effective from here on out. It's looking good for Tundra. They can definitely win this game.
The classic bait and switch, you know, the sleight of hand, like you're paying attention down here, but we are getting things done in other lanes. You love to see it.
And they smoke again.
I mean, they've got the Blink Dagger, you've got plenty of mobility here. You even have the Invis Rune over here on this puck if you want to get real cheeky.
I want to break the smoke here.
Yeah, 33, the jump forward. Dude, it's again Insania that they will find, so it's just going to get sandwiched by 4 heroes, and it's a quick pick-off for the side of Tundra. I think if you're Liquid, you're perfectly happy with that, though.
They're doing such a good job reading their opponents. They know what timings are being hit, and they sat both heroes, Quakefoot to the right and Insania to the left, like, come on, let's break the smoke. Quakefoot comes over here now, which is cool. Pushes the lane out a little bit, gets a little farm, draws them towards the creep wave away from tower. So even though they have a kill advantage, by the time they get here, it's like, well, Insania's back up again. So they keep buying more time to eventually make Morphling feel like a stronger hero.
I mean, Sumail has not been bothered. I don't think Sumail has shown up. Yeah, he's hasn't really shown up for any of these fights, really. He hasn't needed to. Just had all the breathing space in the world. He's got a Mount online now. They've just been hunting Koifa, and Insania has been breaking every single one of their smoke ganks.
Yep, the same build he went last time, fast Manta style. I mean, Manta got buffed for range hero, so kind of makes sense. They don't die as fast. Manta illusions on Morphling are some of the best because he has just an insane abundance of agility, which gives him base damage. Illusions do damage based on their base, with sometimes some passives mixed in. And now Liquid making a move. Getting aggressive here.
They did just pick up the Blink Dagger on the puck. Fata, though, good positioning here. He's going to be the sacrifice as they use the Laguna Blade, everything here to get rid of this little Clockwork. They're being engaged, though. It feels like Skeeter doesn't want to give up these creeps.
That is a 3 stack of large creeps, but it's a little scary here. Defending the tower is more important. 3-3 goes to do that. The rest of the team's in behind. And Fata's up in like 7 seconds anyway, so they can absolutely still regain territory here.
And they've been using the illusion to get some sort of vision as well, so Tundra not in the tightest of spots, even though Liquid is very much on the offensive here, as Koifa is challenging. He is pretty separated, though, from the rest of his team. Does have to be a bit careful about that, as Mickey is nearby and they have the ward. They've got this vision.
Great Sentry spots the ward. They regain their jungle as 5. Skeeter gets to resume farming. Got pretty solid net worth, about the same as the Morphling right now. So, still looking okay.
But so
only
does
losing
Sumail.
Clock there is no big deal.
Sumail continues to farm. He immediately recognizes, okay, this is not happening. We're not having this fight. So you know what? I'm back to my triangle. And you can even see on the minimap, you can see that heat, just the way that he's just stayed in the middle lane and then he's gone to farm. He realizes what his job is in this game.
Basically, very similar farming patterns is what you see on Medusa type heroes as well. You lane mid, you do well, and then you get other stuff.
Hook shot. You can see Insania waiting patiently. Does get off the heel to save. Koifa, though, jumping on in. Skeeter's joining in as well, though. If the reflection, Mickey with the Astral Step does manage to finish to clean up Snake King, but he will fall himself as Koifa looking to reinitiate here with Sumail. He's going to just immediately waveform forward. try to burst down Fata. Not quite enough damage this time around. And 9 still sticking around. He's trying to get any sort of vision. 33 jumping forward here. Does manage to find the Lina. Nice Winter's Curse, but it's just a puck clicking away over here. Okay, with the illusions, that can do a decent amount, but this is still looking like it's going to be a dead Insania.
Nice fight for Tundra. A little surprised the Snake King didn't disrupt himself, but stuff happened pretty fast there. And then Fata stays alive. That's why you always leave the house with 2 fluffy hats, guys. It keeps you alive. It's very important. Quakefoot trying to get a pick off, though. He could grab either if he spots them.
Ooh, Fata.
I'm coming.
Look at them. They're coming. They're mad.
Doesn't it? No hook
Look
shot,
at
man,
this.
but
33 with the gush. Hook shot comes in from Fata. He's like, you are hunting me. Well, we're going to hunt you right back here, Koifa. So get Silence a follow up with that disruption and to start stacking up the poison. The clicks are coming out here. Who is going to get the final hit? I'm thinking it's going to be Snaking.
All right, nice kill. Yeah, they have amazing vision advantage in their own jungle. And considering, I mean, we haven't seen a Ravage yet, guys, but it's important that the threat of the Ravage is on board, of course, because that's going to make it hard for Liquid to feel confident taking a fight. They're winning their engagements here. They're pressuring the map. They're now crossing the map after getting these kills. TB's still farming really fast. Skeeter doing a great job. He's got Manta finished of his own. He's working towards Scotty. That'll be really good against Morphling.
This is going to be a dead Insania, I have a feeling. Yep, the rocket flare from Fata. Yoink, that's mine.
Those feel good. That was like a level 2 rocket flare too. That was pretty amazing skill shot by Fata.
You know, he's just good like that.
Nine's a little... Okay, ulti's on top. Goes for the orb after the tower. Oh, and now the hook shot.
Yep.
He doesn't have Astral Step.
Mickey, he does have the Dissimulate, though. But they still have tabs on them. They've got the vision. There is the Yule Scepter coming into play. As in the bottom lane, Skeeter, he's going to be able to take down Taiga. They actually go and they use the Ravage just for Mickey.
And in the meantime, Skeeter gets a kill on Taiga on the opposite side of the map somehow. I guess that was with help from, Shadow Demon.
Yeah.
Shadow Demon ulti, and he runs him down with Illusions, actually. That wasn't even meta. Illusions and a slow Lina. Good luck.
Not even necessary.
Like Lina was a little bit low mana, otherwise might have been able to live. She had a 4 staff, but okay, great for Tundra. 3k advantage here. Uh-oh, this tower's definitely
dead. 33 just spits in Sumail's face, says, go away, and Sumail says, no, this is mine.
This is another thing that for advantage is kind of interesting, that Tide Anchor Smash is really good against Morphling, actually, because it reduces your base damage, and Morphling is all base damage from agility. So if you get the 15 talent, you can reduce 80% of Morphling's damage when he's right-clicking people. It's a little difficult, of course, because he's flying around and uses Manta sometimes, but if they can apply that in fights, it's really going to limit what Sumail does. But right now, Roche is dead.
Yeah, look at the Fata. Sure. He scouts it out, but they don't have to worry about that Ravage right now. Fata, though, dropping down the sentry, realizes that they have the vision. I don't think... It looks like they want to try to contest it, but they're not going to be fast enough.
Hook
right into Koifa. And that's a dead Fata. You know, A+ for trying, though.
He had to move that way. He shot the rocket, so they know what area he was standing in. Then he has to move to a different place to try to hook. That way he wouldn't get blocked, but this ward sees him moving over. So it gives Quake the easy block there. And Aegis is now up to make life safer for Morphling.
And look at how fast Tundra immediately beelines for the enemy jungle here. They're like, okay, we don't want to be in that area. We still need to be farming up, so we're just going to continue to, push out these waves and dodge them until they bring the fight to us.
This is cool, and Snake King jungling with his ally TB. He can disrupt an illusion, so it doesn't slow down Skeeter that much. He can give himself farm. Later on, he can disrupt Morphling to make amazing illusions that do 75% each of what Morphling does.
That's true.
So Shadow Demon could have some really big implications as this game continues, both with his TB and against the Morphling. Snake King has a good game. This could be a really fun one to watch.
I think we're going to start seeing more of the Shadow Demon. I just feel like it's 2 value, right? You've got, ways to steal the enemy, right? You've got ways to, make those illusions, you've got to save, and then of course, like if you can get the Ags online, in this case, not quite as important, but the fact that it provides you with all those breaks. It's just too good, right?
It can be really good. This game not as needed, so I don't, he's not queuing up Ags right now, but if there was like a PA or some other heroes like that, yeah, it can be amazing.
But I also feel like
finds a grab.
They really just let Snake King get very greedy here. Like they really enable him, which I kind of like. Need to be careful. 33. Koifa. Ooh, ships passing in the night, though. Not going to land against each other, as Sumail's feeling very emboldened. Of course, he has that Aegis. So he is just going to start putting the pressure down on the tower.
Yes, they use
Demon
the
is
Manta
bottom lane.
illusions to clear the creep too. Oh, that's so cool what they're doing. They just send an illusion all the way bottom to where SD is, and then he just disrupts it, and then he's just killing the tower. Look at that, they just glyph that. I think they honestly maybe thought one of those was TB, but I'm not sure.
It feels weird that the okay, we do finally get the weird Shadow Demon teleporting into the fight now.
These illusions are doing great, actually. They just fought Morphling and did completely fine. Like 34 armor. That's a huge amount of armor. Morphling does a lot of damage, but him and the TB illusions have the same armor, and it's so much easier for Skeeter to like put pressure on the map like this. He's got Scotty basically. One more creep, and there it is. Scotty finished for TB. Such a good item against Morphling. If he tries to morph his stats, he's going to have a bad time. Morphling just finished E-Blade. So yeah, he's got the solo kill power, but Tundra's doing a great job keeping Liquid away from being able to initiate. They're not allowing Morphling to hit buildings because they're pushing waves out. And the rest of the heroes are sitting far back behind the illusions to be safe. But with the smoke, we will see a confrontation. Maybe we'll see that E-Blade do something.
Fata leading the charge. He's got some wards on him. Nine, though, does spot out Insania. He'd like to get a quick pick-off. He does have that Dagon online, of course. So, yeah, just a nice solo pick-off over on the Winter Wyvern. As Tundra is now invading the triangle, and you can see Taiga's just already hightailing it out of here. They do have the vision, but I don't think they want to dive this. Not this tower, not right now.
Kind of a hard game for Taiga to play this game. Like he didn't get to like stomp his lane as hard as he would have liked because he just couldn't do that much against the really high armor TB. Yeah, they killed Fado a bunch of times, but Fado's still been effective. And if he ever gets caught on the Lina, he just dies. Dream Coil, Ravage, Hookshot from Clockwork, he's going to struggle. And it's hard for him to get past the TB illusions to the heroes he actually wants to cast his spell on. So hard to play Lina this match.
Oh, the save from Staking immediately as Sumail waveforms forward. Jump over onto the back line. Sumail, has he gone just a bit too far here as the sign says come out? You can see Skeeter poking away. They follow up with a Ravage. Can they take him down? Yes, the first time they will be able to take out. And they'll follow up, though. They do get rid of Snake King. Here comes Sumail. Dream Coil's going to get used, and he's just leashed up. And look at this damage coming out now. He's going to have to use the E-Blade. The save is coming out again now from this Winter Wyvern, but they're going to go right back in. This is a dead Morphling. As now the hunt is on, Insania trying to go up to the high ground is going to run out to Fata and 33, but the Scotty gems, the slow, the mobility coming out from Tundra. Insania says, please help me, and these creeps will not oblige.
I cannot wait to see the start of that. I think Morphling just tried to get a free gimme pickoff on Fata there with the E-Blade combo, but he got disrupted, and as a result, they got illusions out. Shadow Demon got to instantly ulti the Morphling. Morphling started morphing stats. They ignored him for the start of the fight. Here he is. Oh, he had an invis as well. So here he is spotting. The SD, I don't know why he was TPing already, but put him into a bad spot. He used morph offensively. He couldn't get out easily. And at the same time, they put all the pressure into the Void Spirit. He used all of his Astral Steps. He ends up dying. SC dies on the backline, but they got everything else. And when he respawns here, he's got max strength already. So he doesn't have very much armor, and he couldn't wait for him because they saved Dream Coil for him. That was really well done by Tundra. Utilize all their skills so easily. That was cool. The cog break to make Dream Coil do a bit more damage. Very cool.
It's very nice looking indeed. They also ended up having to use the BKB charge over on Koifa during all that as well. So a very costly engagement for the side of Team Liquid, especially considering that they did have the Aegis in the top lane. More action coming out. The hook shot. They used the Laguna over here. The taunt over onto 9. By a little bit more time, he's probably going to go down here as the silence. Yep, that is a dead 9, but the rest of them, Fata will be able to walk away from this engagement, so perhaps a bit too greedy.
It's a hard kill for sure. Void Spirit's got 2,200 HP and he had Yule, so I mean, good luck killing him with just those two heroes.
Better yourself from Fata. We'll just annoy him. He'll turn his attention back to some creeps.
It's just a little bit too dangerous. SC ulti's great. It's going to dispel all of his Astral or Resonant Pulse shield, so he doesn't have to take as much damage, but between those two guys, their burst damage isn't quite high enough yet. Dagon 2, Witchblade, it's got the damage, but it's just not high enough.
Well, this is take 2 now for the side of Liquid as they're going to try to take the middle tier 2 tower again. Of course, some of those high cooldowns are on, high ultimates are now on cooldown coming out on Tundra, so they don't have to worry too badly, although there is the Ravage backup, so.
Oh, a little different build as well by Skeeter. He's leaving his reflection at 1 skill point, and he's got a bunch of stat points as well, which makes sense. TB's like the perfect stat hero, very similar to Morphling. So just wants to be as tanky, high damage, high mana as possible. even if Reflection's amazing against Morphling later on. But he's got the net worth advantage. That's what matters right now.
Yes, indeed.
Get to pressure the map. Maybe we'll see Foddy get destroyed here.
They're going to try to get themselves a quick pick off, and they'll get it. This is something that I feel like Koifa and Taiga, it used to be Boxy and Taiga. They used to make these moves all over the map together, you know, finding these openings and trying to get quick pickoffs, and this can't. Oh, Skeeter gets himself a nice double damage rune.
I really like the quiver on Puck as well. He's already very burst damage focused, so being able to apply Witchblade from an extra 300 range every 5 seconds is incredible. Very good grab for him. Really good on Void Spirit as well. It'll probably end with the Radiant team picking one up. He'll probably get one also. Lots of burst damage on both sides.
Yeah, and the Agnum Scepter is now completed for the Morphling now.
Okay, so who is he trying to turn into? An ally, for sure. Probably... It's probably gonna Wyvern? Well...
Gives you that little extra range. You can have the...
But I think you'd have to stay in that form, because it's like a toggle. I don't know, we'll see how it works, but... it's good on with Slardar. Kind of. Guardian Sprint is dispellable, though, by Shadow Demon ulti. One of the nice things about SD versus Slar. Probably just Void Spirit, perhaps. Lean is okay. But none of them really scream out to me just yet, but...
Got a Satanic online for Skeeter. BKB does get picked up from Mickey, though, so see who gets the jump on who. Jump forward from 33 with a beautiful Ravage over onto 2. They just blow up Mickey almost instantly, and the hookshot comes in and slows down Koifa as Skeeter dumps out the double damage. And that tower belongs to them.
Feel good after last game, all right.
Yeah.
BD incredible on TV as well here with Satanic picked up. This pressure is not going to slow down here.
I mean, tradition says that Tundra takes the game too, usually, so they've got to be feeling real good right now. Taiga, careful here. 9. Dagon coming out over on the back end. Not quite enough damage to take the time. Oh, he's going in with the orb. No, the smell. Rocket flare? Not quite enough. Very close, though.
Well, he is slowing them down. I mean, he's got the permanent Arctic burn here. It burns his mana, of course, but I mean, putting that extra damage on them consistently is going to make it harder for them to fight. But slowed him down. It saved Lena's life for sure. He put the heal on him. He would have died to the rocket flare otherwise. That was pretty okay. Decent start to the first Ag's use. The other thing is it increases the cast range, I think, as well. Maybe that's just your other cast range. Yeah, here's the pressure.
The poke.
Puts the heal on him here, which after the orb is gonna miss, then he uses it.
Smart.
Rocket flare, that heals him for like 50 HP. He definitely would have died from the rocket flare. Really nice save there.
What a team player, that's the male. And the next objective most likely is going to be the Roche as they're checking the pit. And getting themselves positioned. Look at all the vision. Look at all the wards coming out, too. They'll find themselves a quick pick-off on Fata. Again, is the position 5. The step 4, though. Mickey, is he getting a little too greedy here? No, the rest of the team is following right behind, but he's just so tanky. Just gonna get 4 staffed up to the high ground, and they just disengage easily. And you can see these illusions are causing a lot of problems for the side of Liquid.
Yeah, and Morphling's able to turn into TB pretty easily since he should be able to, I think you can transform from the illusions. And then he can do the same thing, push out on the map a little bit, but it's a little bit more restricted because it's not quite always available, and it's been pretty clear that Skeeter's been doing a great job. This is definitely the most annoying thing about playing against TB. When good players do this, it's like playing against Ags with Shard. It's like the same thing. You just send illusions down a wave. These illusions are really hard to kill. It takes a lot of effort to do. And it's hard to take fights as a result.
Ooh, Taiga forcing away, though. Does have Sumail waiting behind him. He's morphed into the Slardar. But look at this. They really want this Roche. It's up now. See the positioning. Got the Ags online here, too, so got a nice little puddle.
Shard's up, too. Who's going to get it?
Nice question. Mickey. He's going to poke his head in. He's one of those remnants. Just see if anybody's home. No one's visiting just yet, but you can tell that people are getting antsy. They want to go knock on the door.
They do. Not any really obvious Shard grabbers here, but probably going to be either TB or Puck, I would guess, but we'll see. Definitely not going to be Jetpack, let me tell you.
I love Jetpack. I think
That's
Schofield
cool.
picked it up in one of the SA games. He like dove into the base, bought a jetpack, and just was like, see you later. It was like a cartoon. I think it's so funny. It's not very good, but it's really funny.
I wonder if Skeeter is going to leave Reflection at one skill point so that when Morphling turns into him, he doesn't have a level 4 Reflection.
That would be a next level play for sure.
But it also gimps him. Like, he just got the talent that makes his conjure image duration better. So it's like, oh, I'm sorry, it's conjure image. I forget that's not a Reflection talent anymore. My bad, confused.
You're fired.
I deserve that. I'd be a little surprised. He'll probably skill it eventually because it is
Hurt.
really good against Morphling. But
We've got a big smoke coming out here from the side of Liquid. They're sweeping around. Koifa, a bit off the mark. Rest of the team still hiding behind, though. 9 already zipping away, and Mickey, he's gone pretty deep here.
He's
They have to be careful because 33. Okay, that is the BKB coming out. Fata,
He's
though,
in
is
trouble.
going to get burst down, possibly. He gets stride right back. That is the Laguna. Mickey, he will pop to Snake King as they do get a great Winter's
ult.
Curse off, but the disruption coming out, saving them here from Snake King. Jump forward again from 9. They're going to try to pick off Insania. LSA does connect. Buys just a bit more time, but they go and they drop down that sentry trying to see. As now you can see this Terrorblade. He's big, he's bad, he's scary, but he hasn't got his hands on anyone just yet. There is no Wyvern, though. They could potentially go into this pit. They see Mickey. The Ravage comes out. The dodge, though, with the Dissimulate. Mickey still alive. Sumail thinking about going back in here. It's Taiga finding himself a kill on Snake King. That was a buyback, I believe. Koifa, now the BKB duration as worn off as 9 poking away, and the hot clockwork over on the back line. They get the kill over onto Koifa from 9.
they got him.
They just still keep chasing after them here. They get the kill on Skeeter, the follow-up here over onto Taiga. They need a little bit more hits here, and they don't quite have it. Sumail trying to dodge away. He's going to go out for into backline. 33, though, does find the kill. Snake King will fall to Sumail.
Okay.
And these
not
illusions
terrible.
are pelting him. But yeah, that was all over the place. 33 is still just doing his own thing over here. Don't have, they
got
have the
him.
Yules. This is looking like a dead Tide Hunter.
All right, great fight by Sumail there. Jumps in, guarantees the TB kill. They hit him with a bunch of disables. I think Sumail turned into Puck, maybe? That's where the silence was coming from? Something like that. But ultimately, it started really well from 9. 9 got Mickey to overcommit, and as a result, they got a bit. Oh my god!
Sumail! 9!
Oh my god!
Oh my god, is he gonna get Mickey too? All right, they're gonna buy a little bit more time. They do have the stun duration, so Mickey, he will survive. Oh, the flare coming out though. Oh my god.
Oh, that was a big
Fata,
kill. Buyback.
Fata, careful. Koifa's hunting. They've got vision on you. Sumail is not happy. He bought back. Sania opening up with that Arctic burn. Do they chase after Mickey? Oh, the hook shot. It buys just a tiny bit of time, but not nearly enough as Sumail gets right back into that pit. He's got to be mad about that. Aegis picked up now for Sumail. You've got cheese on Koifa, and there's a little treat left inside the pit there for Mickey.
All right, Mickey will take that
This is
200 bonus
immediately
damage
pew!
from Dissimulate. Yeah, he got him so quick there. And that forced a buyback. They get Roche out of it. And there's Aegis on
Oh, look
Morphling
at
now,
that.
so it's not terrible, but
That last
he was really close.
projectile, it almost connected.
That was really close there.
Got that
And
BKB
with the-
too with the rocket flare coming. Look at how chill Sumail is. He's just like,
We
Is that
got
bubble
the
tea?
Aegis.
Man, I want bubble tea.
I mean, in a lot of ways, them getting Aegis over Terrorblade is a huge deal because with TB not having BKB just yet, he did buy Satanic, so he has some outs, but not being able to Sunder is the scariest thing. And ultimately, maybe the biggest issue in that fight was the Ravage from Tidehunter. 3-3 got a little bit too confident with his Blink Ravage. It didn't catch anybody, and that's the skill that you need to buy yourself a second or two of reset to get TB a Sunder off. And the supports also were targeted really effectively by Koifa. Koifa was hunting Shadow Demon, was hunting Fata. Taking those heroes out of the fight is a big advantage if you can get it.
I mean, the Shadow Demon has, that's their main source of save for the most part, right? So it's very, very important that they get that off. You can't have all those Shadow Poison stacks just stacking up. I think it's definitely the right call to jump onto the back lines. Otherwise, you start to run into the issue that we've seen in other games when you've got, something like a Shadow Demon. I think we also saw, like, what was it? It was paired up with, like an Enchantress, and they're just allowed to sit so far back and just pelt out all this damage.
Yeah, it's something that you got to deal with, but SD's benefit is mostly, in my opinion, about disruption, his ulti, and probably a soul catcher occasionally on the right heroes to burst him. But for now, Liquid's got to continue pushing out their lanes, and but Tundra just wants to buy time till they get BKB. Never mind, it's already
BKB. I was
BKB's
just
up on
about to
TV.
say it. Skeeter just picked up that BKB, and now it's smoke on smoke action. The question is who gets to jump on who first. Vata sitting on the low ground. Be able to spot out here. Smail turning himself into the Winter Wyvern, trying to slow down. No, there's a jump forward. They immediately just delete Vata. And now Skeeter is forced to run away.
Not the worst for the fight start, I suppose. They might go high ground. It was definitely scary for Tundra to be trying to cross the river there. I think going across in that position is just going to be way too difficult.
Ooh, the
Look
trickster
picked up for
cloak,
TB.
though.
Very good here. It's going to double up his, give him more evasion and some necessary magic resistance too against Morphling and others.
All right, so a bit of a reset after that pickoff. Again, I think they spotted the BKB now over in the Terrible. At least they're going to be able to now, for sure, as they make their way through. But just to see what the next move is here.
Still missing one tier 4 item on the Tundra side. And TV currently holding both of the tier 4 items they have.
Creeping forward, they see Koifa immediately. They want to silence him up, and they'll go and follow up with the BKB. Skeeter is here, though. He's got his own BKB, so it doesn't really matter too much that they have that E-Blade. So they'll be able to take out Koifa this time around.
That's huge. B3 trying to slow down Sumail.
Oh, he's still trying. He's chasing after him. Sumail, can they get it off? They have the hookshot, they have the Ravage. They want to get rid of him. He's all strength north, though. He's got the silence, so he's going to have some longevity. Battery Assault, Cogs as well. He's just going to be able to waveform away over to Insania. Can we go back in, though, is a question. Over on the back, Mickey was trying to make some plays. He's got the BKB, but this Scotty, of course, doing so much for slowing him down. The jump forward, though, they have their eyes over on Mickey, and it looks like he's going to survive. He even goes and drops that Aether Remnant just in case. 9 just a little bit further than that, but of course, the rest of the team cannot follow up with this puck, so he'll back off.
Mickey's doing great. The Shard making a big difference there, giving him some ability to escape after the dangerous backline dive he did. But Ravage trading for Morphling didn't end up being worth it. They interrupt the TP, but he just got away. They need the TB there, I believe, to hit him with the Scotty. Otherwise, he's just a little bit too fast. He buys time to get waveform charges off, but otherwise, the fight start was good for Tundra. They used the Ag Stream Quill for Puck on the Slardar. Once they pick off Slardar, they don't have to worry about their backline supports as much. Their supports can defend themselves against Morphling and the Void Spirit a bit, but Slardar just like way too much single target survivable damage.
Is this a situation where you want to see the supports possibly pick up something like an Aeon Disc, especially the Shadow Demon?
Yeah, he's aiming for it right now. He's on his way. It can help a huge amount for sure. Clockwork has the Force Staff, so he's definitely can protect himself better against the Slardar than SD can. SD doesn't want to have to ulti Slardar, for example.
Oh, 9 is taunted, he's silenced, he's stunned, and now he's dead. Assimilate stuns for 2.5 seconds. Oh my god.
And he got silenced too. And and that's something that's kind of significant actually. 9 hasn't bought himself a Yules this whole game. And Mickey bought like Ag's first item, but that's like the first time he got killed by him. So it's pretty impressive that 9's been able to avoid getting solo killed this long, focusing instead on having as much damage as possible for the other heroes.
Yeah, but I feel like Yules is totally, it's always built into, or not built into, but like it's always in the build, right? For a Void Spirit, because it's really good. No, for the Void Spirit especially, because of the fact he's able to set up, and then he also uses it as a save. Like Puck, it's a little more aggressive. Yeah, 33 picking that up early. Soul Catcher, they've got a lot of damage here. They've got the Scotty. They already went with the hook shot, though. Nice save here coming out from Sumail. He's turned himself into the Winter Wyvern. He's looking for this opening. He's going to wave forward. And there's going to be the buyback now from 9. BKB coming out from Skeeter as he's trying to hunt down Sumail. He's not quite finding him over here. More buybacks coming out. The jump forward here over onto Sumail. He's still hexed up. The stun, though, coming out the follow-up with that Ravage. Can they finish him off in time? Yes, they finally managed to burst down Sumail. As now 9, he's bought back for this. He would like to get himself a kill. He finds himself Taiga over into the corner. Still Skeeter who's going to get the final hit off. And the hunt is on. I don't think you can catch Koifa in this river. He is far too fast, but 9, he's trying pretty hard here. He's got that illusory orb, gets the silence, just keeps poking away. But there's a bit of a candy kill here, Purge. They don't have any way to go and grab him, and there are more important objectives on this board, I think, right now.
That's tough in the river. He's just so fast.
He's just a motorboat. Brum.
That fight was crazy, though. The fast hex pickup here, not an item Tide often gets, but he hasn't gotten a new item at all. Picks up the Hex. They use it to initiate, which is really effective. Skeeter tried to use his Ag's Terror Wave to transform to do a chain stun, but it wasn't able to hit in time. So as a result, Void Spirit gets BKB off. Then things look bad for Tundra, but they were able to get the pick off on Void Spirit as he escaped. 9 dove past him. They got him with the Dagon, the bonus damage, and that's kind of what opened up the rest of the fight for them.
And now they can just make an army of illusions to push, and they don't have to really commit very hard. 33 is just, you know, he's showing off here. Right here, he says, what are you going to do about it? Big tanky lad, you don't have your big boys up right now.
So many illusions, actually. It was like a PLCG in the high ground or something.
Yeah, it really is.
Aeon just picked up for Puck.
Koifa's trying to man fight over here with this 1 TB illusion, and it's just looking really rough. Yeah, we talked about the Aeon disc earlier for supports, but also it has been picked up for the Puck as well. And I feel like that's very necessary, especially, like we said, for the Shadow Demon. Extremely necessary that he's able to survive and get these spells off during the fights.
Yeah, because it's not a big deal at all if Shadow Demon doesn't deal damage for a couple seconds. He just needs the utility of his abilities to buy his team a lot of time. So Shard picked up on Quake as well, kind of interesting. Applies the Corrosive Haze on illusions and creep waves and stuff. So he'll be able to push these out a bit faster.
Pretty necessary, I would say, considering.
Does a lot more damage with his Slithering Crush now. So I think he's using it as like a ability, helps him push waves basically. So it's kind of a cool pickup. Not normally something you get out of Slardar is fast pushing of waves, but he needs it against TB.
It's just an onslaught. It reminds me of the little trivia. How many TB illusions have been killed, Purge? How many would you guess? I'm gonna say 36.
I think it's I'll say 27. I don't think that many have died naturally.
45.
Yeah.
I won.
You won. You did.
Party horn.
It had been a while.
They're all over the map, though. Like, especially when you consider the fact that, you know, Snake King has been just, you know, using the push-out waves as well, farming. So it's been the most value. I'm not sure if it's the most value Terrorblade or the most value Shadow Demon. I guess it's Terrorblade, right? Because you're using his illusions. Sometimes Sumail, exactly. Too, if you're capable enough.
Yeah, there's a lot of illusion spam going on in this game, all right. But I think the most significant thing is that Skeeter's only died 1 time. Sumail's died 3 times. Skeeter's farmed way faster because his ability to like push across the entire map with his illusions. He's got 10,000 more net worth than Morphling. So at this point, he's sitting really good, honestly. He can't get much more farm than this. In fact, he switched his neutral item Spider Legs just so that he would have an extra item slot for items. And this is like a perfect situation to have Spider Legs. When you have this ultra farmed carry at this point of the game, you don't want to sacrifice your movement speed. But a lot of players do, but it does hurt you sometimes in some of those late game fights. But now he's going to be able to get 7 slotted. Like, he's about to eat his Ags, basically. Then he's going to have another slot, which could be a Rapier. It could be a Daedalus. There's a lot of things he could buy here.
Production wants us to watch this clutch. Look at him snaking. It goes in. Can he get it off in time? Oh, we'll never know because we're going to stop. There we go.
Wow. He did break that bounty rune earlier at the 9-minute.
Denied.
6-minute, whatever. Pretty significant.
No, but like you said, with the, you know, the fact that they've got the Spider Legs online for the Terrorblade, it's so value, right? Because of the fact you've got so much mobility coming out from the rest of your team. You've got a hook shot from the Clockwork. You've got a Dream Coil with the Blink coming out here with the Puck. You've got the jump coming out from a Tidehunter. Like, so you're not super concerned about, you know, chasing in necessarily, because a lot of the times they're going to be held into place if everything goes according to plan here for Tundra. Whereas Liquid, they're struggling a little bit. These fights have been so incredibly split too. I know, like, I'm trying to watch everything, and there's something going on the other side of the screen that we just aren't able to see or show everybody. But, you know, everyone is just, it almost feels like sometimes Mickey's a little bit too far forward trying to get onto the back lines, because somebody does, right? Somebody has to, whether it's Koifa or Mickey. But then the problem is, like, Wyvern's slow. Wyvern is not the fastest hero. Lina has to be careful with the positioning. She could get blowed up so easily. And then, of course, you know, Sumail is just trying to do as much as he can in the fight, just generally speaking, trying to figure out who is my target, who do I blow up, how do I get there?
Yeah, I can't imagine playing a Morphling in a situation like this. There's just like so many decisions that you have to make in a rapid amount of time. That you got, who do I transform into? How do I use my skills? When do I hard commit to trying to get a kill or something like that? It's just also difficult. And Liquid has shown that it's pretty easy for them to turtle, at least, because they can just turn into Winter Wyvern and just start slapping Arctic Burns into people, which does 9% of their current health. That can be a nice way to slow things down, but Tundra's just going to out-farm, and I feel like their supports are just scaling better too. Like SD, once he gets an Ags, is going to be really terrifying. His ulti does 700 damage now with the talent that goes through magic immunity. So if he just slaps one on Slardar, like that's the best thing about playing SD late game with Ags. You just put like one ulti on both carries, and then whichever one's not dead afterwards, you ulti the other guy again. And so it's like 2 carries are just completely taken out of the fight because of the major slow. And if one of those is Slardar and he doesn't get to use Guardian Sprint, it's really valuable and making Slardar dive to the back lane
All right,
a lot
Liquid,
less scary.
they're smoked up and they're hoping that they can make something happen here. 33 is, of course, the one forward. 9 is here as well. Step forward. Oh, they follow up, though, with the Dream Coil. And there it is. Skeeter trying to just do as much damage, but that's going to be a nice Winter's Curse over on the back line as this Ravage does go off here from 33, and they're trying to just force forward. Simel, he can't get over there as he just loses Mickey immediately. The BKB coming out now from Skeeter as they're hunting Insania. Can they grab him, though? They've got the silence. They need maybe one more hit from the puck. Knight's going to get himself a double kill. Over on the back lines, though, they do manage to go disrupt Simel. Simel, he's in trouble. He does have the BKB, but look at the Scotty damage. Look at the amount just coming forward here as he's going to try to waveform up. They don't quite have that vision, although 33, he's trying the best he can. That is scary. And there's a gem dropped over here on the ground, too.
Yep, they spotted it. 9 doing such a good job in that team fight. Smoke breaks. They were able to phase shift. Tide blinked back, and then he gets a big Dream Coil and 2 heroes. And now catching Slaughter the other side with this ward.
Oh, the hook shot. He is locked down. They have the damage, the force over to the side, and Fata will get the kill.
That is absolutely not a ward that you expect on the Liquid side, because it's been a long time since they were aggressive there, but that Observer ward near the Secret Shop spots him out and they get another kill on the map, whereas normally Slaughter would be able to get a couple creeps killed, maybe finish his AC here, but no, instead they get the map control. Roche is going to go into the pit. It's a Refresher Shard. No free Ags, but the Shard, who's it go on? It'd be amazing on 9. It'd be really good on Tidehunter. It's pretty safe on TB. Does he need anything else? Yeah.
At this point, there's nothing that Liquid can do here. Nikkei's still down for 40-something seconds. No buyback. They do have buyback on Koi, but they've got buyback on Taiga, but these are not people that want to dive into that pit, so Liquid a bit on the back end now.
And now they go high ground. Still got a couple more seconds.
Look at this illusion. He's just chewing through the buildings. Fata's
really
just
good.
Playing around a little bit here. He's thinking about, maybe doing that hook shot. Knows exactly what Simel is. This is the problem. You just keep throwing out all these illusions. 33, he's taking a little bit of damage over here. It's very slowly getting chipped down, but he's forced forward. They get the Hex off immediately, and they just blow up Simel.
He's dead.
He's dead.
No buyback.
He's got no buyback. They're going to go for the finish here. Tundra, they want this. Koifa, he's going to be forced to buy back here. They can't afford to lose these buildings this quickly, but I don't know how they get in there. Look at this damage. Look at these snowballs being tossed out. The Scotty damage from Skeeter as they just start mowing through. Koifa over onto the back ends. Get the silence off here. Over onto Fata. They'll be able to get the kill on the Clockwork, but this is not looking good now for Koifa. The LSA buys a little bit more time. The Fear just pushing him right back. Snaps the coil. They'll take down Koifa. Now Mickey is also trying to run. They use the Ravage. They want to get rid of him. There's no buyback on 4 of the players here on the side of Liquid. Tundra, they do it. They take game number 2 and tradition that they like to, and Liquid is going to go down and lose this game.
Tundra played so good this game, I gotta say. The only pressure that came was on heroes that basically didn't matter. The supports died a little bit at like a high rate in the early stage of the game, but they got the heroes farmed that they needed to. They kept the lanes pushed out. They used their abilities effectively. 9 had an incredible performance on his puck. That Hex purchase from 3-3 was really smart and caught them a lot of important kills throughout the course of the game. And Shadow Demon as a hero felt so good in that matchup against a lot of those heroes. So a really cool draft coming from Tundra. Absolutely deserving the victory here.
I feel like a big portion of this too is the fact that they really went and they solidified, the early game, right? The laning stage for 33, because we saw how abysmal of a time he had in game number 1. Game number 2, though, they part snaking down there with the Shadow Demon, and they made sure that he could get what he needed as a Tide Hunter. And then on top of that, I just feel like Shadow Demon, you know, the ability, obviously, you know, Skeeter being able to farm so well is a huge deal, but the fact that they're able to use all of these illusions really, you know, paying off in spades for them. And Liquid, unfortunately, just weren't able to catch up. But here we go, guys. We've got a 1-1 series. Tundra, in tradition, is managing to take the second game, so we have a third game coming up very soon.
You love to see it, indeed. A game 3 between these two teams, and that was the Tundra that we were expecting already in the first game. It took a little while, but they show up. And it's all according to plan. These two teams love going to a third game in their series, and we're going to get to see what they can do in that deciding game. But first, we're going to talk about game 2 and prepare for that game 3. into a third game here in this series between Liquid and Tundra, and this game, this Terrorblade looked on fire. It was the first Terrorblade we saw picked in the upper division. It worked out great. We had some great moments also from that puck, of course, from 9. Killing off Sumail in the pit. But there's a lot to talk about. It was a good game of Dota 2. I'm here with Kyle and T, and they are going to break down this game 2 before we head to that third game.
I think we should start by, congratulating 9 on a very good performance.
Yeah.
I think this puck build where you go for the Dagon and the Witchblade, it's just, the Assassinator. You move around the map, no matter who you go on, you're going to apply that pressure. It forces heroes to go for defensive items quickly, like the BKB, but that does not help you with this eventual TV who will just appear from the jungle with some Skadi butterfly type scenario.
It did Liquid, with the Wyvern pick, it's kind of a subpar 5 position, but you can see the concept because they wanted to utilize this Morphags. Didn't really feel worth it.
Yeah, the animation of Wyvern right click also doesn't look that good, so it wasn't the most scary situation either, but you do try. I think this is the first game where Liquid has the Slardar. They haven't gone to Roshan, got the Aegis, and suddenly been able to flood the map and go, this is now our jungle.
So why weren't they able to do that? Or did they just not do that because they didn't? Or because something prevented them from doing that?
I guess it's a product of the fact they're running into a Clockwork who has Flare always scouting you out. You're running into a Tide Hunter, and you're just trying to find a way to get through this line onto a very farm TB.
3-3 played a really nice game. He had a good start and just did a great job effectively putting himself between enemy team and...
We've done the wrong thing. We've mentioned everyone.
Apart from?
But snaking!
Oh, the Shadow Demon!
That
On
SD!
fire!
Woo! He was very good at doing
made
the
those
saves.
illusions.
He made those illusions.
He did.
He skipped the waves.
It's a great hero, but we see why that hero
And he
is
disrupted
so
curses.
popular.
Yeah, I think, just the defensive nature of Tundra just was exceptional in punishing the style that Liquid was trying to bring.
Yeah, also very curious to hear what Brian has to say about that second game with his best of 3.
Thank you, Shiva. I've got a few clips for you guys I think gives you a good portrayal of the story of the early to mid game between Tundra and Liquid Game 2. So what we're going to see from Insania time and time again when we look at the minimap is one of his cores is going to be farming the patented dead lane, and he's going to do whatever he can to protect these cores. And Tundra's going to continuously be trying to make moves. He breaks smoke gank number 1, ends up going down, but saves his core that's farming bottom lane. Now, this time, instead of tanking the gank, he's sitting behind Koikfa, who's farming bottom, and he sees Tundra smoke, ready to counterplay it as best he can. And Tundra, yes, all these early moves seem great. They're putting a lot of pressure on, they're getting kills, but it seems like Liquid's got their number. Liquid constantly counterplaying, gets the curse to save Koikfa, Sumail TP's in, gets the silence onto 9, and they end up turning this 2-0. Then, for the next play, we have another smoke where he just saw 9 show mid. So we're going to see Insania doing the exact same thing at the exact same spot. Notice how he has a core that he just got done farming the bottom lane, breaks the smoke. And the thing about all of these moves is that Tundra seems to be getting kills, and a lot's going on down here. But meanwhile, this is Terrorblade's life. Notice who we haven't seen in any of these clips, a Terrorblade. All these ganks going on in the bottom lane. Seems like Liquid is constantly counterplaying and owning the map, but instead, it's actually Skeeter who's getting everything he needs, and they set it up perfectly. Smoke and mirrors coming out from Tundra. Five-person effort to lead Skeeter to an inevitable 1v5 performance on Terrorblade.
Yeah, great showing. Thank you, Brian. And I'm very happy that we got to see this side of Tundra because we know that first game, that was not the real Tundra, right, Kyle? I mean, we know they can do better.
Yeah, and you gotta. It hurts. You do a jungle Veno and get smashed, basically losing the game in the lanes, and you come out with this, and we were liking what Liquid had, but this was the Tundra we kind of expected, right? Where it was a mostly chill game, but they had an idea. They had late game pretty much sewn up and actually played pretty good Dota.
They played pretty good Dota indeed. Can they do it again? That's the question. Who's going to take this third and deciding game? There is a lot riding on this series, and we're going to see the conclusion of it very soon. We'll be heading into the draft after the break. On one side, we have Team Tundra that is standing at a 2-2 on the rankings right now, and they're facing up against Team Liquid, standing at a 3-1 in the standings. And that means that if Liquid manages to close out their series with the victory for the remainder of the season, they still have a very good shot at making it top of the groups. It also means that Tundra, they want to avoid losing here, because losing here means the chances of going to the major are very, very low. Better yet, there's actually chances coming into play of being relegated down to the lower division, and that's not where you want to be. Let's see what we're going to see in this third and deciding game of the series. I'm here with T, Gov, and Kyle. And for the first two games, we had the Ancient Operation first phase banned by Team Liquid. This time they go pick it up. This is something that Tundra has been doing against OG a lot. Yeah. And we still have Tundra going for the puck. I mean, game 1 did work out, but game 2 it did.
It's a nice answer to AA. You don't really have much to offer in terms of lockdown. You can hunt the AA quite easily. I like what Liquid did, though. You can be assured that Tundra would have taken it were it left in the pool. And it's just a really nice hero to build around. You know, you remove healing from the enemy draft. There's no way you can play some kind of sustained lineup. Heroes like Morphling, Necrophos, Death Prophet become unpickable. Alchemist, they're all just deleted from the game because you have an AA.
Oh, instant Tiny.
Yeah.
So yeah, in regards to that, you now have the instant response of Tiny, because they didn't care what Tundra picked in this next position. They just knew your puck's mid. Let's just pick up most likely our mid hero here again. Yeah. But again, potentially this could be the carry.
Mika, yeah.
Yeah, the carry Tiny. But the concept of Tiny v Puck, it gives you a hero that if Puck is not ready, you can like 100 to 0, or some scenarios just 100 to 50 to force the Puck to be defensive.
I'm a big fan of Tiny against Puck. This was our go-to way back in the days when I was.
Wait, Carl, quick. That the Hon days, am I right?
The Hon days.
The Dota days?
Dota days.
The Dota days. Just confirmation.
Because Limp is the best Tiny in the world.
Oh, of course he is. There we go.
The enemy's team went Puck, we'd pick Tiny. And you always have the kill threat, especially with an AA. The Vortex down, if you set up for a combo, like it's just too much damage, like almost 1,500 at max level combo level.
That was just
add an Echo Saber.
Oof.
And you also toss the clock away, which is quite nice. So you're never really threatened by these two heroes. They're going to need some sort of sustained damage. Expect Lifestealer probably to get banned out as well. Although Liquid have AA, maybe you feel better about it.
I just prefer seeing Insania playing a bit more of an active 5, because like he plays the Grims, the Warlocks, the A's. They're like, they have a clean entry into a team fight. Is it the save, the fight?
Yeah.
Wyvern's a little bit more kind of wave clearing, kind of on the fringe. It's completely different to the style that we often see from Liquid.
Wyvern feels like the kit looks so good from a distance, but it's always underwhelming. I like can't think of a player who's picked it and not regretted it.
Only until they won, and they're like, I still didn't feel like I won the game.
Yeah.
As a Wyvern.
I always go back to like crit at TI. Just
kept picking it.
Wyvern. It's like it doesn't do it. It was originally pre-nerf, sure, when you could keep attacking people, it wasn't any sort of damage mitigation. It's like a 70-second cooldown. Man, that was busted.
Now this is the series meta. This is where Liquid's like, damn. Yeah, this Tundra team, they just kind of 1v9'd after, a very strong early game with this Terrorblade. So let's respect that a little bit. Let's throw it a ban. I love how relaxed Fada is in every draft. He's always like arms back, chit-chatting with the lads. He never is too concerned. Confidence is key in a draft.
Yeah, you gotta have control of your emotions. I mean, Fada's been in this position before. Been around. It's actually kind of wild how long he's been in the scene at this level as well.
Yeah, and with different roles.
Yeah.
And Fada.
Mid, off lane, captain.
Yeah, but only a captain
command.
for like a year and a half now.
Yeah.
He only made that jump a year and a half ago.
Yeah, but he's always been, I think, that first mate.
Yeah, once the team finds consistency, he's like, his name within the captaincy ranks will obviously be up there with the others. It's just right now he's still trying to kind of find his footing as a consistent, potentially tier 1 team.
Yeah. But he has the potential to be there for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. His kind of approach to the game is very good.
This game kind of determines it, right? It's big for both of these squads' destinies. And also just telling you, what this DPC season is like. If anything, maybe it's, we could say, we want more games played between these teams. But it's good setup for TI when you'll have one final game with $1 million on the line, your spot and chance to play at a major.
There's one big difference, though. Because even though I agree with your point, but at TI, you're playing several games a week. And this, you don't get a week to prepare for that series that means so much. And for these series, these teams, Tundra, I guess they didn't get a full week because they played OG, Tuesday? So they get 3 days. That's still a luxury.
But the key thing here is you're describing something where teams, that's why they need to qualify for this major, have that experience. Because if you didn't go to the first major, you didn't go to the second major, and you win that qualifier, go to TI, that's when you're going to feel kind of the lack of confidence in that type of environment. So for Tundra, they win this series, they go joint second, 3 and 2. They lose this series, they're joint 7th, 2 and 3. That's how close this group stage is.
True.
It's kind of crazy, actually. Second play, two losses, you're tied for second.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I mean, I don't see anybody else. We'll stick to this series. Big pick ahead for Liquid. Likely gonna commit to what this Tiny's role is. It could be a Taiga hero. The Oracle is a cool concept because the way it functions with AA, if you get the ult off before you're in shatter range, all of the healing, damage taken, whatever, that's all calculated at the end of the spell.
Yep.
So you can still heal a target, technically, even though they're AA
As long as you're aware of the shatter range and the duration of how long the AA ult still
the AA ult has to dissipate before the Oracle ult, and then they will likely survive because, Oracle does heal a lot.
Yeah, so again, for Liquid, this pick here is going to decide, is it a mid-tiny, is it 4, is it carry? Like, this tiny is very up in the air. So potentially just ignoring those roles and going for an offlane could come into play. Oracle as a hero for Tundra, it isn't the strongest laner unless the carry also has some kill potential.
The question is, what do you pick for Koifa? Because I don't think it can be Slaughter again. Clock was a big issue, thorn in his side in the previous game, and you're against an Oracle too, just so good at removing.
I feel like they probably would still go for the Slaughter type pick because they did really well in laning phase.
Slaughter type, sure, not Slaughter.
They have played, like Quickfire, when he started going to the off lane, they've played Mag, Sand King, and Razor as well, other than the Slaughter.
They could casually go Mag PA, for example. They could do that very easily. They go Tusk. Okay. Revealing, of course, Tiny is now the core.
Could be offlane Tusk.
Maybe.
We've not seen Tusk be super successful in the last week and so.
I think it's, at least for this game, you now have a little bit more of save with the Tusk. You lose that when you pick this AA core. And you have the double jump now where Tusk and Tiny can also find in the fight.
Is there a universe where you fourth pick an Io? It's Liquid?
It could for sure be Io. Yeah, maybe. I don't know into Puck Clock Darkseer. It's a lot of AoE that will be messy.
So this is a cool pick because now the Clock suddenly gets a ton of threat attached. Darkseer really doesn't fear these two supports. You're a very early pipe buyer. Really nice to have those AoE auras. Because Liquid represents at the moment a lot of burst, but very limited sustained damage.
Now, a question for Liquid here is, what type of carry do they want going into a Darkseer lane? Morphlin's banned out. Obviously would have thrived there.
Just say Jug.
Yeah, but the only fear with Jug is the whole idea of you have the hookshot and the coil to deal with you throughout the later portion of the game, but I guess it's still fine.
Oh, they end up going for Mars. And there is, of course, still the chance that the Tiny is going to be played by Mickey instead.
That's true. That's true.
Which at the moment looks like will be the case. I mean, does Samil play Tiny that much?
I mean,
I'm sure he can. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you can choose between a Mickey Tiny and a Samil Tiny,
it depends on the route they want to go. So far, Sumel's been playing their one.
Yeah.
Mid lane, sure, but do you want to keep that? Mickey is their carry. He's the guy that'd be playing PA. So are you going to switch that up? Is that a decision Liquid made in terms of how they're going to prioritize farm all series long, or was it based solely on the matchup against Puck?
And then I guess in terms of Mars, it might even be a Koifa type. Like, they can swap things around, right? They have a lot of flexibility. It doesn't necessarily need to be Koifa that plays that Mars.
They do in theory, but it's actually pretty tough because they need a hero that's gonna, be their win condition, scale, kill the enemy towers, and the matchups Tundra represent are real difficult. Like the team fight for Tundra is there, and they'll be able to last pick counter carry.
Technically, like, to some degree, Leshrac still applies that type of game plan for Liquid. The only difficulty there is if Puck Clockwork both jump you and there's a last pick for Tundra, then it might be a more uncomfortable game. But they've picked it so confidently before, I could still see them going for just full skirmish, full pacing. They bounce fed. But yeah, Tundra, they very much think it's a mid-tiny offlane Mars with a last pick for Liquid for the carry.
You can't, like, TA's banned, there's no SF.
I just want to see the tiny mid against Puck. Don't overcomplicate it, just have a good matchup and just pick a carry that can play into Darkseer.
Yeah.
And they have no reserve, they have like 18 seconds.
Yeah, they got no time left whatsoever. Or rather, not that much anyway.
Simplest solution's just a jug, but I think they want to go... I mean, you could Spectre, maybe?
Yeah, I'm thinking Jug Spectre. Okay, wow. Okay, nice.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
All right, look at the giggles. Oh, the grins.
That is a Koifa Lone Druid 9th pick. Is that a good pick here? And how will... Yeah.
Mickey Mars.
Yeah, Mickey Mars,
Sumail Tiny,
and then...
Okay.
Yeah.
But this is maybe with a variation of Liquid where they spoke about flexibility in the players. They haven't shown it yet, but this could be the game where lanes are kind of thrown around a little bit.
Oh, yeah. And now the farm priority is going to get a little weird, but
for sure.
I dig it because it's a great lane against Darkseer Clock. You can't really ever pressure a Lone Druid, and a lot of the heroes you want to play here are banned out. Lifestealers.
I was going to say, yeah, these bans are now so clear because it's like the Troll, the Lifestealers are heroes that would have done great against Lone Druid.
Now, if you're Tundra, just a PA with the Darkseer, something to get active, high reach. Spectre isn't really playable into the massive team fight of Liquid, so
they go for Wraith.
Of course. You know, talk about going to the staples. Yeah. I mean,
Game 3, Kyle.
In a must-win scenario,
hero,
Liquid say Koifa Lone Druid and Tundra say Skeeter Wraith King. Probably should have seen it coming. Both teams just sticking with what their team is. This is what they've done for years now.
Yeah, I mean, absolute. Yeah, both teams, they have the counter initiation. One has Mars, one has Puck. They have the tower pressure. One has Druid, one has Wraith King. I think the main thing here is Liquid has an easier time grouping early on to apply pressure. And then Tundra, they can fight on into that pressure when Wraith King uses his ultimate and turns the fight around with Darkseer Wall plus Puck Core. But yeah, I think both drops are pretty even. I prefer the idea of Liquid because the simplicity of push with Lone Druid if he has a good lane. And I think he will have a pretty good time. So yeah, I just Lone Druid on Liquid is very scary.
X factor is that the Liquid supports are all just damage, right? The Tusk with the Snowball Stave, it's possible. Whereas on the side of Tundra, a lot of counter initiation that can come out from the clock, but specifically the Oracle and the Darkseer. You're going to have an early Piper Greaves. Maybe he'll go for an Ags, maybe go for Solar Crest, whatever, but you don't have that option on Liquid to get those really early supportive items. You don't have an Oracle. You don't have that hard save. So it's going to be more difficult for Liquid to execute team fights. They're going to want to burst a target immediately, but Tundra have the tools to prevent that from happening.
And when you guys are talking about Lone Druid doing well against the Clock and the Darkseer, does that mean that we're going to see lane swaps until that lane is there for the side of Liquid? Like, is that the one that they want to set up for?
This isn't going to be as devastating. We've seen some terrible stuff. I think these teams are going to be a lot simpler. Just go to the lane, apply the pressure, get the early farm, and go. We're not going to see heroes running around. Hopefully.
Okay. Well, hopefully that won't happen. We're going to find out what will happen together with Moxie and Purge. Here's game.
All right, game number 3. We have a Skeeter Wraith King, we have a Koifa Lone Druid, and I have a feeling that once this game hits into the late game portion, we're in for a bloodbath, Purge.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun match to watch. It's always cool to see games where teams have counterplay potential, like Kyle was talking about. Having Oracle against Heavy Burst is going to make his role really important, not just because of his ulti, but also because of Fate's Edict to block magic damage on some of his heroes here. They are going to spot the bear. The bear, I think, saw the orb, so that reveals that they are there, despite the smoke not breaking on these non-hero units. But yeah, Koifa is going to be playing basically a carry this game, and Mickey is going to be playing off lane. So we'll see how the role swap works out for him, but it's the heroes they're familiar with, so it should be okay.
Yeah, I don't think you're concerned about this at all over on Liquid. I think, if anything, it's one of the strengths of the players that they have for their particular team, is they can be so incredibly flexible, whether it's Koifa, you know, playing the core role, or sometimes, you know, off lane. You know, Mickey has been, you know, dabbling in all different ones, depending on what their draft calls for. And yeah, now with Sumail added into the mix, you have just so much flexibility. But that one word giving them a lot of information over on the side of Tundra, being able to spot all three of those heroes over to the side. So they're going to bully Mickey away here.
Not bad. Taiga does get the bounty rune, but he's going to take a huge amount of damage here. It's going to cost him a salve, maybe. Okay, he dodges the orb, so he'll be okay.
A little bit of body blocks me out here from the bear, too. Gonna slow them down just a bit. And yeah, otherwise, you know, should be a fairly standard matchup over here in the mid lane. Tiny, of course, doing fairly well against the puck.
Interesting. Quickfa sending back his bear to get his first items. Then he'll recall the bear to himself after he TPs. Kind of cool.
Good efficiency. Special delivery service here from what is this bear called again? Has something silly about it. Oh yeah, Michael Vu. Named after the teammate here.
Yeah. The Blightstone will be really nice here though, because they've already got Orb of Venom on Tusk. They can use Tag Team to amplify their physical damage and certainly threaten snaking a little bit if he's not careful here.
I mean, that's the scary bit too, is the fact that, you know, it is a double melee sort of lineup here in this lane, and Tag Team does so incredibly well against this. One of the reasons why I've been seeing, you know, some of that Dark Willow picked up, just because it's fairly decent against, you know, the Tusk position 5.
The kind of pressure and survivability as a support is really helpful if, and especially in those like mid and late game fights, kind of similar to Shadow Demon. If you can protect yourself, it really wastes a lot of crucial time for some of those diving type heroes to go get the kill that they're trying to get. So far, Tiny doing very well mid, 9-2 versus Puck's 5-1, but with his damage advantage, not too surprising.
As expected, for sure. I think it'll be interesting too when we do get those level 6 online here. I would like to see 9 be very active. Of course, Mickey, though, probably going to be the one who makes the moves over here on the side of Liquid once he gets that arena up.
Fada blocking large camp, small camp ends up getting dewarded, so Fada can now pull. So this is looking decent for Tundra at the moment. Wraith King going about even in terms of last hitting. You do have to be very careful against this AA dual lane though. AA plus Mars is a lot of damage. This is one of the reasons AA has been pretty valued lately. It's just because he has really solid harassment and kill potential with any other ally that can disable. So if Skeeter's not careful, could get out harassed. He actually went for a really fast Wraith ban, very surprising. Huh.
Something a little bit different.
It is. It's a lot of extra armor, is one thing. But it's not as much damage as a Bracer would give him, but it'll increase his attack speed and it'll make the right-click damage that Mars does quite a bit less. So could help him out a lot in the laning stage. Like think of it like a cheap chainmail, basically.
That's one of the nice things about watching these upper division games, is sometimes you see a little bit of a modification coming out in terms of the builds, but top lane Fata is getting bullied just a little bit. It looks like he's gonna be fine though, purges that off immediately.
He was worried about getting dove there actually. Works out all right though. Skeeter picks up level 3.
Ooh.
On the bot lane, a little pressure on 3-3, but they trap him back in.
I mean, the initiation versus reinitiation coming out from both sides is pretty crazy in this bottom lane, right? So, you know, maybe you land a nice shards, snowball sort of thing, but you just follow up immediately with the cogs, with the battery assault, and just try to readjust here, so.
Yeah, they're just going to both hard commit, basically. They've got level 2 Ion Shell now, so this is looking really good for Tundra. They can skill vacuum 2 if they need it. If Quickbit is not careful, gets out of position, it could be bad for him.
Should be fairly quiet, though, until we get those level 6s online here.
Oh,
for both sides.
They might try for the bear. No,
33, he's taken down. Guifa's gonna get the first blood. Taiga will fall next, snaking.
Well, I wish I would have gotten the bear. The bear, it was like there was 2 targets, both would have been really good. Do you want 300 gold, or do you want the experience of killing a hero and killing him? They made the right choice, of course, but a little too much damage for 3-3 to tank through there. Boots coming for somebody else. I believe those are, yeah, snaking. They got boots out of that, so that's pretty big advantage, actually. Level 2 battery assault, level 2 ion shell, running down his opponent's gonna be even easier, because Tusk is trying to get the fast Orb of Corrosion, so he's not gonna have as much movement speed here. This could be vulnerable for them.
Could be indeed, as again, another shards come out. Snaking is just ticking down, and that will be another kill here for Taiga over in the mid lane. 9 poking away at Smell. Not quite enough damage here. Doesn't have that orb up either, so Smell is going to be able to go use a bottle charge, and has to play very carefully, because he will definitely get doven by 9.
Couldn't even tell that he had boots on Clockwork earlier when he got ran at, but it's too much disable. And too much damage. Despite the Ion Shell potentially on 2 people, that's, I think, the difference maker. I think they only had 1 Ion Shell when they fought to the death here, so Liquid just has to be careful when they choose to go for those kills, and they pick the right moment.
Just pretty quiet, trying to take down this courier over here. They needed 1 more hit to take down Mickey's courier. Not going to be able to quite find it, as the wave is pushed in here in the top. And there's a chase over here on 33. Ooh, good shards coming in hot here. Snaking is here, though, with the battery assault. He's going to try to use those ion shells. There's going to be the surge coming out here from 33. But just a bit more time as Snaking will also retreat. He's getting chased down by the bear, though. Does have to be a little careful, and they're still going to chase after him here. Hoping maybe to contest here for the rune. 33 is healing up, but not healing up quite fast enough. So Koifa should be able to kind of bully them out of this area. In fact, look at this. This bear's just running at 33. Gets a root off to the side. Feels bad, man.
He zoned him from the bounty rune. I mean, I guess it does force him all the way back, at least to force a salve out of Snaking there. So not all bad. I'm a little surprised he committed so hard, but hey, giving Tuss some moments to get last hits, gifts him his boots, is going to make their pressure even better. So this is kind of like the same thing that happened in the first game as well. Koifa and Taiga as a dual lane partnership they're just so good at winning their lane. They know the moments to force the fights, and even though Tundra has conventional strong looking lanes, they keep getting these kills.
We talked about it as well, the fact that, you know, it feels like Tundra, they really kind of need 33 to have a good lane. Top lane, though, a little bit of skirmishing going back and forth between Fata and Insania. Not going to amount in too much here, just tossing out some spells to be annoying. But, you know, Nine did have a standout performance on the last puck game that he had, but, you know, it really does come down to having 33 also being able to follow him up. That's kind of their dynamic duo that we see frequently coming out from Tundra.
Sumail glyphing a little bit late there to prevent the wave from being cleared. It's going to allow him to move out in time. Curious if Skeeter's going to go for a Midas this game. It seems to be like the new popular Wraith King build. Rather than going Armlet, you just go for the Midas. It's very likely, I suppose, this game, because there's an A on the enemy team. You don't want to buy Armlet against that hero, and it still gives you like good farm speed and stuff like that. Great Sentry by Insane. He's going to grab a Ward and a Sentry with that one. Possess Mask on Wraith King now. He'll farm very rapidly. Fata will hold the wave most likely, try to get some levels. 9 in the mid lane is still leveling, and last hitting fine against Tiny. They're sitting pretty much even. Only lane that's going a little bit rough is basically Darkseer. Darkseer's less last hits than his opponent offlaner does. But on the bright side, Snaking's almost 6. Heart's looking good on them. He gets a fast hook shot. Uh-oh.
Oh, bottom lane vacuum. He should be able to run away. Dodges around the shards. They do have the snowball, though, as it's going to slow down right underneath the tower. That's a dead 33, but over in the mid lane, they are making plays here. They're trying to put out as much damage as they can over onto Sumail. And Sania also making this rotation here, but Snaking, he's fast. Can he get the kill on Sumail? No, he can't!
Nice.
At the last second, though. Fata will find this opening, and now the spear against the trees. 9, maybe he's overcommitted just a little bit. Does have the orb. Taiga, though, coming in hot. Throwing out the shards. Is it enough? Not quite, as now 9 is going to be allowed to walk away. But there is a double damage rune up here.
Okay. Still very, very good for Liquid as a whole, I guess. I guess losing Tiny wasn't so good, but he got a kill first, so he still gets experience out of the rotation. This reminds me of last game in the sense that Wraith King is just, he gets a bit of a free lane here with all these fights happening in other places. So as long as Tundra gets some of the kills, it's absolutely worth it for them to get these exchanges. And Puck's going to go Witchblade again. Wants to have that harass and burst potential on the side lanes if possible. Nothing weird for Quake either. Mask of Madness phase boots on his bear. Very normal stuff here.
I was curious as to, you know, we had the level 6 online for Puck, so I wanted to see him, you know, start skirmishing around a bit. But like I said, I was a bit curious if he would make a rotation to the bottom lane, because 33 is, of course, struggling. But they do have, you know, a couple stacks going on, so he's going to be able to farm up that way. Is that enough to help him recover, do you think?
On 33. Stacks definitely help, sure, but I feel like Darkseer, the nice thing about is you're kind of getting farm no matter where you're standing. Throw Iron Shells on the creep wave, you can go back and do stacks, and then when team fights happen, you'll still be really effective. Like, Darkseer doesn't typically lane dominate like he used to back in the day. And right now, we'll see if he can survive.
They go, they drop the wall, they'll hold them in place with these cogs as well, but it doesn't matter because 33, he does full Snaking now. There's going to be the hook shot. He's trying to just stun up by a bit more time. He's not going to be able to do it as Taiga will get the final hit. 9 doing some hunting behind the tower, but the top tower goes down for Liquid, so definitely a value fight here for the side of Liquid.
It just reminds me so much of the first game where they like could win the lane, but they just die a little bit more, and as a result, there's just a massive advantage now. Whereas before, if they get kill potential and they can pressure their opponents, then yeah, there's options. But The Lone Druid Bear plus Tusk and the Lone Druid Hero, that's so much tag team damage, actually. They just couldn't out DPS them, and they died too many times now. 6 total deaths on the Tundra side in that offlane, where all the deaths have been.
So at this point, do you even bother going down? And I feel like you still need to try to attempt a gank, but you just have to bring quite a few more heroes, right? Obviously, the Clockwork and the Darkseer not enough, perhaps if they take 9 as well. Is that a worthwhile investment, or?
I don't know if they can kill Koikva. It's really hard. If he gets his ulti off, I feel like the engagement is over. Like, you're just not going to get a kill. Like, if you get separated by hookshot and they can follow that, layer that up with, like, Waning Rift, yeah, maybe they can kill him, but it's still really difficult. They don't quite have the best ganking heroes.
They see that vision getting tossed up here. They're smoked up on the side of Liquid. They're hoping to make some plays with Sumail and Insania, but immediately he's trying to back off to get the cogs off. Be an Ice Blast tossed in. The follow-up with a nice arena here from Mickey as they'll focus down Snaking. He's going to be first to fall. 9 is now trapped inside. Does have the Dream Coil over onto 3, but he needs backup. He doesn't have his team. He's next to go down. As 33, he does manage to get the vacuum wall combo off, but it doesn't even matter. Mickey gets himself a triple kill, and it looks like there's going to be another kill as Koifa finds himself a Fata.
What a run down there. I mean, Tundra did a great job trying to slow it down. They put the Oracle, they pulled the creep wave with the Rocket Flare, trying to keep the tower alive. Then they put Fate's Edict on Clock to stop a lot of that damage from coming, but it was way too much, and they were still able to catch the heroes on the back line. 9, I didn't see exactly how he got into that, but he was trapped in the arena with his abilities on cooldown, and he wasn't able to escape in time. So here it is again. He pulls the creep wave, he puts cogs down, they save him from that burst damage, but with the snowball, Puck ends up phase shifting there. He tries to silence to get outside, but he misjudged, and that's what committed him to dying. So, Puck made the mistake there. He needed to get out of that to not get caught, and then even though the vacuum wall was so good, the fight was over at that point. They'd already used all of their committal of spells. So what looked like a Grave Vacuum Wall, there was no follow-up, and now a Vacuum or Abatos kill.
That's the dead 33.
Rune control is important. They don't want DDs this game, they want Invis runes.
Okay, they're gonna try to make a play here over onto Taiga. Snowball, Walrus punch forward. Do they have enough damage to take him out? Not quite as Bata now forced away. Mickey looking for the spear. Nice body blocking here coming out again from this Clockwork. They will be able to finally slay Mickey.
Skeeter has to rotate for that one, but decent kill. 3-3 gets the gold. They even dig up a beautiful bounty rune that got lost in the ground here. Darkseer is going for a medallion into Solar Crest Rush, so he's not going to be super tanky, but he just wants... They need to make Wraith King strong, because otherwise they're just going to have too many issues in this match.
I mean, I feel like that has consistently been the name of the game for the side of Tundra whenever we do see Skeeter get his Wraith King. And just have to hope that they can make the space here. Taiga throwing out the shards. Snaking, taunting a little bit. 9 will go and collect himself that creep on his way out, but they do have to be a little careful. Plenty of other heroes in the vicinity here on the side of Liquid. Ready to jump in. We have the Blink Dagger, of course, completed for Sumail, so he's going to be able to blow up people very easily, especially with Insania following. And again, I like the duo. I like watching, you know, these guys make these gang squads. Again, they're going to try to negate some of that magic damage.
He runs away just in time there. Does the Ice Blast. Sumail wasn't able to get the toss follow-up either, so not enough disable. Nice evasion there, but 4K gold disadvantage is not insignificant, and it's going to lead to Lone Druid getting pretty farmed. He picks up a Maelstrom, kind of interesting, gives him some AoE, some ability to farm. We'll see if he commits to the full Mjolnir or goes for a different build, but generally attack speeds are really, really good on Lone Druid, and against a Radiance that's going to come later on, Mjolnir active is really good as well. See if Darkseer can survive. Oh, I love this juke.
Oh, he's just on the cusp there, so he's able to teleport out. And Liquid's going to be searching those woods for a little while longer.
We're going to watch the replay for that one, that's for sure. Gotta learn those new spots to juke, guys. I've learned a new one. Saves his life. 3-3 is always so good at like being up to date on like the newest tricks and tips and stuff like that. He's just such a smart player. And you know, that could have been his 6th death. We'll ignore the first 5 deaths.
Because it was so sick, that one juke spot.
But he evaded that 6, yeah, the 6th one.
And definitely, you know, knowing where you're positioning, you know, and the juke spots are very, very important now. As there have been quite a few added, and that makes for some very exciting and entertaining Dota. They have to be careful, though. The invasion's coming in here from Liquid. They spot themselves out a nice, juicy stack. That hurts. You don't want to lose that. You can't really do anything about it, though.
Looks like they'd rather fight. Sumail's in position, but yeah, they're just going to clear it now. That one feels really bad. This is slowing down Skeeter so much. He ended up not going for the Midas, instead opting to go towards Relic and Radiance faster, but he still doesn't have the Relic picked up. The farm speed of the enemy team is just really high. Even Mickey is matching him on the Mars. And he's gone tanky items.
Is that the correct play to skip the Midas and go for the Radiance, or do you think that, you know, they're going for the Radiance because they know that they need to fight earlier?
He probably was a little bit too contested to feel like Midas was the right play, is probably my guess. If he had like a free farm lane and gets it a couple minutes faster, yeah, he probably goes Midas, but this match it's been tough. Like, look where he's running. He's running behind the tier 2. They do not know where the gank is coming, or at least he's just trying to be safe, but he's got the Relic finish, but he's not able to maximize his farm because Liquid's pressuring so well.
Oh, they want 33. They are hunting. Careful, my friend. Ooh. Did they see him? They spot him now, that's for sure. Avalanche toss, even an Ice Blast. They don't even need the Ice Blast. Smell just blows up the Darkseer.
Yeah, just a little bit of a mistake there. Misestimating what the safe distance was. And yeah, Koikfa aiming for Mjolnir. He's getting pretty darn close to that. This Sumail just gets levels, and he moves around the map with 1 or 2 other heroes, and he's just looking for kills constantly. And that's going to restrict Tundra's ability to get stuff done. Maybe they kill Taiga bottom, though?
Yeah, they're going to see if they can make it happen. They've got the Clockwork, of course, the Silence, Waning Rift, everything, and they'll find themselves a quick pickoff, but still, Koikfa looming large right now.
Yeah, they definitely needed that, though. Get something on the map, even if their cooldowns aren't up for big. Koikfa spot snaking. This looks bad for him.
I mean, Sumail spot snaking.
Okay, another death, but he did get a killing spree before that, so that'll be fine. That buys time for Skeeter here, who is trying to finish the Rad. His net worth is still okay.
He's trying to hang in there. It's been hard because their jungle has just been invaded constantly by Liquid. They've, you know, took away that giant stack that they had over on the side, and like, look at the vision that they've got up to. You can see they've got some nice deep wards planted to keep tabs on everything, and you know, really just figure out, you know, where are people, what are the item timings? This is, oh god, 33. Spirit up against the tree. Get the off the, okay, they get the save coming out here from Fata as they go and they drop that wall. They'll use the arena to walk away here.
Sometimes you're like, this is the most killy kill I've ever seen.
9.
And then you just mess it up.
9 is in no man's land, and Sumail collects himself another kill. He's the only one who can do this, though, I feel, right? Because he's the hardest one to get your hands on.
Yeah, that's a big kill, getting Puck. But on the bright side, 3-3 doesn't die, at least. He's got a Solar Crest finish now. So now if they do group up and fight, at least there'll be a nice buff on Wraith King. Good movement speed, armor, attack speed, all that good stuff.
Yeah, but they're already in the pit here, Purge. This is looking like this will be our first Roche here for Liquid, and I'm not sure how they go and they can test this. I don't think they can they?
It's hard. They have so much minus armor. Orb of Corrosion and Medallion and Blightstone.
Yeah, look, he's just melting.
Blightstone doesn't stack, but a lot of damage.
On the bright side, I'm sure they're going to be happy. They do get the Philosopher's Stone. I can hear Fogged in the back just like, oh, they got the Philo Stone. It's fine. But 9 poking away over here. They can't do anything about this, though. This Roche goes down. It's going to be Koikfa grabbing up that Aegis, so that is our first Roche of the game. And man, Liquid, they have all the momentum right now. Bottom lane snaking.
Really
Tossed up here. Hook shot. Ice Blast coming in hot, though. So it doesn't even matter. Sumail just tosses the tree out and says, get out of my lane.
Throws the tree and walks away like a cool guy.
Yeah, you can see the sunglasses going down over his eyes, too, as he strolls out. Cool guys don't look at explosions.
They gotta push these side lanes, because otherwise you're not getting any farm. Sometimes you're gonna get ganked like this. It's still fine for Snake King to get a little bit of that. And now that they know Sumail was bottom, they are running top to see if they can get Taiga.
Yeah, Dream Coil's gonna get used immediately over into Taiga. They're gonna try to burst him down so that way he doesn't have any save left. So he will fall. The hunt is on. But they're not able to grab their hands on anybody beyond that.
They wanted to run in, but they're like, this is a bad idea, guys. We're gonna get like...
But they have the vision. They have those wards over to the side, so Mickey, he knows exactly. Except for the fact that 9 is hiding in the trees, but I mean, what can this puck really hope to do too much other than just blink Mickey? Cancel out that blink dagger. Orbing forward here, gonna try to root down the bear. Jump forward though, coming out from Mickey as he's just gonna immediately try to go and blow up Fata. There'll be no saving this time around. 33-2 caught over here on the side, and it's a Dream Coil coming out, but it doesn't do a whole heck of anything as Tundra is just forced to run away.
They initiated
Oh,
that
Mickey
so well.
with the spear back over onto Skeeter. The buybacks come out immediately now from Tundra. It's going to come right back up again, but the burst damage is real. 9 trying to click away over here on Mickey. Over on the back lines, they do end up losing Insania. Mickey falls. They get the
Okay,
nice
not bad.
vacuum off. Can they finish him off, though? But Smail does so much damage. They get the save off over onto Skeeter. They're going to hunt down, and they will be able to go collect the kill over onto Smail. Koifa now running. The creep's kind of blocking him into place. The shards coming in. Oh, long-range stun, though, over here on the bear. They want to at least clean up on this. Nice spear, though, coming out from Koifa's bear.
When you can't orb now. Vacuum in 7. I thought they were going to get the bear for sure, but that roar was excellent. It basically was the same time the orb came out, so he couldn't orb jump, and his Dream Coil was coming off cooldown. But ultimately, that cost Tundra a lot. They had to buy back almost all of their heroes there because Liquid had done such a good job initiating. I mean, Mickey jumps in, gets the ulti off, kills the Oracle. That means that the next guy they go on is vulnerable. That was Darkseer. Here comes his blink in. He gets the ultimate off on Fada. They tried to interrupt his blink dagger with the rocket flare, but he had popped his hood barrier, which blocks the damage, still allows him to blink. That's why he was able to get on top of him. Then Tiny jumps in, focusing on Darkseer. They kill him before he gets his vacuum wall off, and then he tosses back Skeeter, forcing them, or sorry, spears him back, forcing them to commit to this fight. They would have just disengaged and lost their tower, but they had to jump in. If they lost Skeeter here with his ulti, I felt like the game would have been over there. So still decent for Tundra, but amazing engagement by Liquid, and those buybacks might really cost them later on.
I don't know, Purge. I have this feeling that we're probably going for a long series here. I know the way that Tundra likes to play. If they can get enough time, we're probably going to see a very scary Skeeter going toe-to-toe with Liquid.
I'm really unsure right now. I think they're in a good spot on Liquid. Not the spare, though.
They want the spare. They've had enough of it. Another Savage Roar, though. Snake King. Gonna hook shot away over to Fata. He's in a good position as Taiga facing down here with Skeeter. He's gonna have the reincarnation up in just 1 second, though, so they can't do this. Oh, look at the Dream Coil over onto the back lines. They'll follow up with an arena here from Mickey as they go and they spear over to the side. But again, Fata coming in with the saves. Koifa, he's going to go down for the first time. Already taken out Insania. And now it feels like Liquid, they're on the back foot. Taiga running away. Koifa trying to shift back over into this bear form. Tundra not quite sure how they want to approach this, though, as Mickey throwing out the spear doesn't quite connect. Swing forward here from 9. Going to start plinking away over here onto Mickey. They'll go and they'll use the cogs up. Smail looking for the opening, gets a nice avalanche toss off, and he bursts down Snake King. Now Skeeter, he's in for some trouble here. They do manage to go and get the Oracle ultimate off over onto Skeeter, buying him a bit more time. 33, though, just running around in circles. Gets a nice vacuum off, but there's nothing else to follow up. Does manage, though, to get Skeeter out. Oh, the toss, though, Fata. That's a big old bear being tossed over here onto this Oracle. So Mel gets yet another kill, and the Ice Blast does get tossed out, but no one is there to receive the end of it.
And those are the diebacks. That's 50 seconds of a death timer for an Oracle at 23 minutes of the game, so they're going high ground here. They did a great job on the Tundra side, keeping their allies alive, but once they focus on Mickey, he's got Pipe. He's just way too tanky there, with Sumail able to counter-initiate. Yeah, this is like potentially a 2-Rex? They're gonna be at mid for sure. Maybe they'll go top 2.
I don't see how Tundra can force them back until, you know, everybody's up and running again. And even then, it's a bit difficult.
Yeah, they don't have reincarnation for 30 seconds, and Skeeter's almost got his BKB, but yeah, this just feels like their buybacks cost them a little bit too much there. Gave them some net worth advantage, but losing a fight right outside their base, they might back. They might save their melee here. It's gonna be close.
Oracle's gonna be up, so is 33 very shortly. 9 looking for this opening. Gonna try to spook him back a little bit. Poke away.
All right, and they're gonna get out. So really big advantage now for Liquid. They needed to win that fight pretty decisively, and the first half of the fight went really good. If they didn't have Aegis on Lone Druid, they would have looked really great in that engagement. He would have died the first time. They could have maybe picked off 1 or 2 other heroes, but Mail's just always ready. Mickey's just done a great job. He's been playing exactly how Koifa did in game 1. He gets the fast hood, the fast pipe. He knows that all of his cores are difficult to kill, so he just has to get ultra tanky, and he took the focus after that first initial engagement for Tundra.
We do see some different solutions, though, coming out, but we talked about, you know, Smail. He's actually picked up that BKB now, so it's going to be very hard to pin him down. On the flip side of things, though, do have an Aeon Disc picked up now for Puck. Very important that he can stay alive. And this Oracle getting closer and closer to a Blink Dagger, which I feel like is so necessary for Fata, because they really need to take him out of the equation, and they're doing a good job of it, it seems, most times here on the side of Liquid.
Yeah, they have done that a couple times. So Fada's also been ulting at the perfect moments too, where things look really bad for Skeeter. He drops the ulti, gives him time to escape or to stay alive through it. So yeah, Blink will be excellent. He's almost there. Just needs to dig up a couple more bounty runes, I guess. Then everything will be fine. They've almost got Blink Dagger on Darkseer as well. His net worth is really low. Here's that engagement. Snaking forced a hook shot away to keep himself safe. Taiga looked like he was in a good position. This looked great initially, but Puck's counter initiation was just so good. Wraith King ulti goes off. They're able to pick off the Lone Druid. The vacuum's excellent. They pick up Koikva. Almost got Taiga. And they do eventually clean him up. They don't want to go high ground, of course, but with the vision from the illusions, and eventually Mickey kind of walked into them, like, ready to fight. So they're like, well, I guess we got to kill this guy. But he's got a pipe. He's got a 16 stick. He's blocking 60% of physical damage from the front, and that just gave Sumail like the easy Avatoss to clean up those utility supports. Skeeter was gonna die, but gets saved with the ulti, and he kind of wants to go back in, but he's got Mjolnir charge on him. Like, how are you gonna kill 2,000 HP Mars at that point in the game? It's just really hard unless Wraith King feels confident to slap him.
I mean, you're not gonna be able to go in and give him the slaps there by any means. You can see they're pretty happy at the way that they turned that fight around. And yeah, so we're just waiting for a moment here. Do have a smoke over on the side of Liquid. I'm sure they're feeling pretty good right now with the current item pickups that they just got. They have that BKB over on Sumail. I have a feeling they're going to be kind of sweeping around here. And you can see that Koikva has what's the word? I don't want to say exponentially because I know JJ absolutely hates when you use that in the wrong phrase. Yes. See, I listen to you, JJ. I do. But you know, you are seeing that growth coming out. Just an empty box. All right. They're hunting though, for sure.
Aghanim shard on Lone Druid too for the bonus attack speed for him and his allies. And with Sumail going back for a right-click build with his BKB, he's queuing up shard. This extra attack speed is going to mean Sumail does insane damage, especially once he finishes Daedalus afterwards. So the death ball of Liquid here between tag team amplifying damage and attack speed increase from Lone Druid, everything just makes sense in the
and
Liquid
of course,
draft.
Sumail finding himself a double damage too doesn't hurt either.
That's pretty good, yeah, for the hero. Takes the tier 1.
All right, the blink is completed now for Fata, so his positioning in these fights should feel a little bit better, but of course Liquid is just going to be running at them. They know that they're very strong right now, and you know, the later this goes, the more chance it gives for Skeeter to become a real threat. Deso completed now for Mickey. The pressure is on. Look how fast these towers go.
Both a Tiny and a Lone Druid, pretty scary. All right, they're going to run back now. Here they go. Let's see if they can defend this. The Bear's sieging. He's got the Solar Crest.
And look at the damage coming out from Sumail with that double damage. Oof. Cleans up the Skelly boys.
Pretty insane. We're going to slap the Bear again if it comes high ground, but it's got so much armor here with the AC finish.
They just keep trying to disarm it too. Just please don't touch our towers. This damage, though, Skeeter already down to half health. Though, and they'll use the Dream Coil over on the back line with a beautiful wall vacuum combo, but they need more damage out of here. 33 is just an island all by himself. The snowball coming in here from Taiga. There's a punch. 9 does find the kill over onto Insanius. Sumail, though, and look at this arena here. Snaking is trapped. Skeeter, he is going to go down first time. Snaking trying, he's just holding them in place a little bit longer. Eventually will get taken out by Mickey. And I just don't know how they get in here. 9, and Aeon just does pop. Mickey chasing after them. The Savage Roar will force Skeeter back, and the focus is on there. Just paying attention to these racks. They're trying to get rid of this Bear. It's been an absolute thorn in the side. Mickey, though, going forward again with the God's Rebuke. Can they burst down anyone else? The toss up into the air. This is not looking good for Skeeter, but Fada, he hits his buttons perfectly. He's going to be able to keep him alive just a bit longer. So he is rooted into place, but he just, I don't know if they have enough safe. They don't have the safe for him. The buyback now coming out from Skeeter. Fata is just going to be sacrificed to the Liquid Gods over here. And now 9, he's trying to just be as obnoxious as possible. If they have a ward, they have the vision. Look at Mickey waiting patiently, not going to be able to quite land it. As over on the back lines here, Skeeter is just forced to run back into his fountain.
It's so hard for them to engage past the Bear. The Bear is just keeping Skeeter out of the fight, and the vacuum wall was great. The Dream Coil is great, but this could be a good start, though. 10 seconds till true form, but no follow-up on Koikva.
Snaking on the back lines, does get the jump over onto Koifa, but this bear's just shredding him into pieces. Sumail BKBing, he's gonna teleport away. Koifa though is left behind. 9 here is gonna keep trying to poke. Do you have that dream coil? But Sumail, he sticks around. He decides he's not quite done just yet as Koifa's getting chased down here by Skeeter, but the GG does get called. They realize this bear, this rock, everything coming out from Liquid is just too strong.
Liquid played amazing this game. They crushed that safe lane, the Lone Druid plus Tuss lane. They killed Clock and Darkseer so many times. They took those heroes out of the game as a factor, and that was like 2 of their major damage sources in that match. Made Puck's rotations feel weaker. Wraith King took longer to get online because he was a little bit more pressured on the map. And basically everybody at Liquid just played so good, especially Sumail getting things done. Mickey had intense farm, just firing on all cylinders, and Liquid crushed the game. Felt like a repeat of game 1 and very clearly deserved to win the series.
Yeah, they definitely, you know, on the side of Tundra, they struggled pretty hard. 33 and Snaking just kept getting locked down. They kept dying in that bottom lane. And, you know, that's one thing that we've noticed in trends is that 33 needs to have a pretty decent lane in order to make the space necessary for Skeeter. And in game number 2, they did that absolutely. And game number 3, Liquid did not give them a chance at all. So just a really solid performance coming out from Liquid as they will take the series 2-1. And we are going to go find out what our panel has to say about it.
Thank you, Moxie and Purge. We have a lot to say about this series, and I hope that one of the winners also has a lot to say about series, as we'll do a winner's interview as well. But we'll do all that
after the break.
Oh, yeah. Okay.